expressed heartbreak at her passing.
It is very, very sad, and I'm really heartbroken. It will never be the same. As we mourn the passing of Cidi, I wish you strength from day to day, as well as us listeners, because we've become such a tight family.
First time I met her was there was a strike in Tembisa. We were striking about the electricity. The time when the mayor was still Tanya Campbell. I met Cidi at Mesharing Stadium. I waved at her. She waved back. She looked at me. I kept on waving. And then I went through the security. And then I went to her. And then I greeted her. There's not even a single politicking show of Cidi that I've missed.
Zikhona Miso takes a look at the life and times of Cidi Madia.
Cidi Madia began and ended her illustrious career doing what she loved. In the weeks leading to her passing, the seasoned broadcaster published what would be the last season of her much-loved podcast, Politricking with Cidi Madia. True to form, she had some of the most influential and notable figures in the hot seat, including President Cyril Ramaphosa and EFF leader Julius Malema. Her most notable contribution recently was her no-holds-barred interview with US media, where she vigorously defended false reports of a white Afrikaner genocide in the country.
Why are so many who have big landholdings willing to give up their entire lives to come to America?
Where are they? Show them to me.
We had them land.
Those 49 people are not farmers. There are plenty of reports from South Africa that many of those are not farmers. Those are chances.
While Madia was a highly respected force in the media, those who were closest to her have described her as warm, loving, and super hilarious with a mischievous streak and a smile that brightened every room. South Africa's journalism industry is poorer without her. Zikhona Miso, Eyewitness News.
NSFAS says by the end of October, it will have a new student accommodation framework to assist with the current challenges it faces. The financial aid scheme has battled for years with delays in funding disbursements, unpaid landlords, and even left some funded students without a place to stay. NSFAS held a media briefing in Pretoria yesterday to address these and other administrative issues. Jabulile Mbata was there.
The Private Student Housing Association has this month spoken out about NSFAS paying rent money into the account of students, a mistake the scheme had made. The association says while many students are responsible and will use the money for accommodation, others who have more pressing issues might redirect those funds and risk eviction. Yesterday, the new NSFAS board members assured the public that it will have its house in order, with projects approved to make the necessary changes. Acting NSFAS CEO Wasim Karim says they are reviewing a new accommodation system.
NSFAS does not want to pass the student accommodation function around like a football, and we want to ensure that we build the correct governance framework, policy environment, internal controls, skills and capacity, as well as business processes.
The scheme has urged landlords to follow payment guidelines to avoid eviction of its tenants. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News.
And more than 100,000 Ukrainian homes have been left without power by the latest Russian drone attacks on energy infrastructure. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says 3 regions have been affected by the attack. The Energy Ministry says this is a continuation of Moscow's policy of destroying civilian infrastructure ahead of winter. Last year, Ukraine said Russia had destroyed half of its electricity generating capacity, but more recently, Ukrainian strikes have also hit Russian refineries and an oil depot. Gold is trading at $3,343.55 an ounce. The rand is at 17.76 to the dollar, 23.90 to the pound, 20.59 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.22 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays on the Mike 1 North. This is just as you approach the Crown interchange. This is due to peak time delays there. Please be on the lookout. And traveling on Winnie Mandela Drive, do expect delays there due to faulty traffic lights at Leslie.
And in your sport, Kaizer Chiefs' unbeaten run continues after last night's goalless game with Mamelodi Sundowns. Man United knocked out of the League Cup by fourth-tier side Grimsby on a penalty shootout, 12-11. And South African Lloyd Harris out of the US Open as the top seeds cruise to round 3.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 13 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 14 and 28. Vereeniging 12 and 29. The top story in EWN this hour, as the media fraternity mourns the passing of renowned journalist and EWN's politics associate editor Cidi Madia, tributes continue to pour in from several spheres of society.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primemediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
Just gone 6 minutes past 6 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongani Bingwa this morning. On this, what is it, Thursday today, the 28th of August 2025. Good to be in your company. Good to be with you. Good morning, Johannesburg, Swane, Soweto, Benoni, London, Beijing, wherever you are listening to us from. It's good to be with you this morning. The whole breakfast team is here. Almost got your traffic. Mateo's got your business. Sia Ropiwa, Bapilile producing your show. Cindy's got your sports. Katie's pushing your buttons. And Safiso has got your news. Lots to talk about this morning, including the big story that has shaken all our lives. We're going to continue talking about it this morning. We've got other stories. The news cycle does continue. We'll bring you the latest in news from here in South Africa and around the world. But also, we will continue with that big story this morning.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Yeah, it's a bit of a somber day today for 702 land and the 702 family. I mean, we learned a shock yesterday about the sudden death of a friend, a colleague, Eyewitness News associate, political editor Cidi Madia. And perhaps you're turning on this radio station for the first time, or you didn't know Cidi, but if perhaps you didn't know her or you don't know her, well, then you haven't been listening to 702, because this has been a story that has got everyone talking and left many speechless. I needed to sit down yesterday when hearing the news. I was absolutely shocked, but I mean, I think I was among all my colleagues and all the people who work at Prime Media. 702 has been keeping the lines open as we all come to terms with what's happened. So please continue to send through your messages. The more we talk about it, the better, I think, united in our grief at what's happened. But I do want to change things a little bit this morning. I want to change things just a little bit, celebrating the life of Cidi Madia. And I'm asking you this morning, what are your memories? And I'm going to start. So Cidi and I worked together at Eyewitness News for many years. And I think some of the words to describe her, I mean, Mateo, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was driving, listening to John Perlman yesterday afternoon, and I just thought to myself, how would I describe her? So a brilliant political mind. She saw things coming very often. Now, I used to work up at Eyewitness News, and very often she'd come to my desk and she would say, this is going to happen. And I'd go, no, it's not. Don't be ridiculous. And 1 hour later, it would happen, and I felt ridiculous. So there we go. She always had her finger on the pulse of things. She was feisty. There's another thing. She was feisty. I was the managing editor at Eyewitness News at the time, and very often we would debate a story, like really debate it, and I would learn a lot, and that was great. I love those conversations. I'll have to watch Cidi with junior reporters, and later on I'll be chatting to Alpha, like he says it, Alpha Ramushwana. We'll be chatting to Alpha a little bit later on, because I watched Alpha go under Cidi's wing. And he's a brilliant reporter today, and that's Cidi right there. And then at the pinnacle of her career, off to the United States and defending our country, I thought, from those using fake news. That trip along with Clement, I mean, both of them, Clement Maniatella. When Clement got back, I said to him, listen, guy, I called him to one side. I said, it's a bit condescending for me to say this, but I'm so proud of you. You really defended us. We saw journalism at its finest. And then, of course, her podcast, Politricking, that one promo. And at the end, it says something, I don't know, like, Amo, you can help me with this, because I think you produced it. It was Ace Machoshule, wasn't it?
It was saying you on record, Cidi.
On record, Cidi. And I used to listen to that promo just to hear that. And you know, like you have a radio moment where you like something on radio. And I used to, here it comes. You're on record, Cidi. And I thought that was so very good. These are my memories. I want to play a clip for you. And she was talking to the PA's Kenny Kunene about what happened in the United States. It's such a great memory. All right, let's get it going. Okay, KG's just going to get his machines going. He's having a bit of a hiccup this morning. Amo and Mateo, I want to go with you as well. I mean, Mateo, your memories. It's a very difficult morning this morning for everybody. It really is. But it's like I said, I want to celebrate her this morning. There's some really good memories. That booming laugh. I mean, that's amazing.
I think I crossed paths with Cidi at Power FM at the very beginning of Power FM. I must have joined them 6 months after they'd launched. And she was somebody who was always feisty, always willing to go and get the story. She would whiz around in her Toyota Yaris, the grey one.
Yeah, that is true.
One thing about it is that she'd always have her nails done. And I also used to pick on her all the time. I'm like, you have this busy life, but you always make time for the nails, you know? I think that's where she really found her voice, because that's where a lot of us met. Clement Manyatela, Eldrin St. Pierre, Theo Nkonki, who also used to work here as well. It was a great time to be a journalist, and a lot of us were young, trying to find our beats and what would work for us in terms of the stories we'd cover. And I think there she really became a political animal, and she just thrived and found her voice. And we've been friends ever since. She was somebody who always took time to know what was going on with you. Very proud of her nieces. And always spoke about her dad. So we always did that from time to time. How's your dad doing? No, my dad's doing well. And we're both from Ekurhuleni, so very proudly from there. It's like, how's home? How you doing? She always took time. But I think one of the best things I could say about Cidi is that she always set up people for success. People set you up for failure, but she would always pull the strings behind the scenes to make sure that you were successful. I remember when Alpha was going to do his first story on EWN, and he was like, no, come to the radio. And he's like, no, Mamela Ntwane is going to be good. He's really a good find. And I think she was still trying to build the politics team at EWN at the time. And that wasn't too long ago, if you think about it, 2022, and look what it's become now. So she's really, really done great in terms of politics and her work. But more than anything, she was a great human.
A great human. I like that. I like that a lot. A great human. I'm going to miss her hugs. Amo?
Sure, I don't even know where to start, because I met Cidi right when she was at her peak of her career. So I was just starting out, I was a producer, and I thought I was Mahlatzi's favorite. At the time, she was our editor-in-chief, and every now and again, Mahlatzi would call me into her office. Amo, I need you to come and see this. Amo, this and this and that. And then Cidi came, and everything changed. It was all of a sudden, it was Cidi, this and this and that. And I thought, are we not gonna, are we gonna change positions here? But as time went on, I produced for her, and I produced her first season, the first episode of Politicking with Cidi Madia.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I was behind the production for that, and everything just spiraled from then on. And she would say to me, Amo, I want to teach you how this game works. I want to teach you how to be, to have a voice of authority when it comes to guests. Don't just agree when they say no. Find a reason to push harder, push back. If they say no, we can't make it, tell them that they'll be talking to Cidi Madia, and, the magic would work. If I were to call someone and say, you'll be talking to Cidi Madia, they'd say to me, I'll come back to you. And that's the kind of passion she had. She was a force to be reckoned with. She was, she knew her work. She was so dedicated. She was so passionate.
Yeah.
And then when I started working with her on this show on Political Desk, I'd say to her, please come into the studio every mornings on Friday. It's such a nice banter
come and see us.
That you have with Bongani before you talk about the politics. And she'd say, I must wake up that early just to come and have a banter. And I'd say, it sounds good. It sounds good. She's like, no, it's not going to happen. But the following Friday, you'd see her walking in and she'd say, no, I'm not here for you, Amo. I'm here for this and that. But she was really amazing. And I think I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss the reports we had. Her random messages. Cidi would send you a random message saying, you're doing well. Keep at it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
or
it,
if
love
you're
it,
dropping the ball, she'd say, you're dropping the ball. What's wrong? And she wouldn't even want you to tell her your problems. She'd say, are you talking to someone?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, about what? I can tell you're going through something. And that's who she was.
Yeah.
So
that's our Cidi Madia. And also the Americans found out, those Americans who had their conspiracy theories about white genocides and things like that. Clement and Cidi went over, and here's a clip. She was chatting to the PA's Kenny Kunene at the time, and she spoke about what she had said while being on American TV.
I know you want me to tell you about that bizarre interview that I had with Newsnight. I was irritated. I was bored because some things about the South African experience should not be explained. Some things are actually so easy to see. If you're looking for them, you'll see them. If you open your eyes to see, you'll see them. And I got the feeling that there are some pockets of the US that are not willing to see, no matter what you do, to shine a light on South Africa's truth. So that interview that went viral, yes, it just went viral, really is about that from my understanding. And I keep saying to people, I don't think I said anything out of the ordinary. Like, those are very normal sentiments for me. But I think in this context, why I think it matters is because I said what people wanted to say. Does that make sense? Like, people were irritated watching the ongoings in the White House, in the Oval Office. That's diplomacy at play. That's trying to protect an economy at play. I don't have that baggage. So I can just tell you what I understand about South Africa, and that's what I sought to do. So for all the love, all the praises, being labeled a patriot is nice. I like that. I take ownership of that. So thank you so much. I'll continue doing me.
Continue doing me. So celebrating this morning the life of Cidi Madia, 0727021702. We'd like to hear from you. What are your memories? What did you hear on 702? Or perhaps see on your TV as well. Also coming up on the program, we are keeping our finger on the pulse of South Africa's news. And I'll be talking to Alto's Stephanie Fick a little bit later on about Helen Boertes, who's still reported to be active in the city of Johannesburg, despite an official statement saying that she had actually exited the Joburg Property Company. And there's a whole thing that goes with this. I'll explain it to you a little bit later on, but all sorts of questions being raised about that. But keep your WhatsApps coming, 072 702 1702.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Right, Mateo Juaripe, let's get down to business. What are you asking us this morning?
I want to know, if you had all the money in the world, which worthy cause would you champion?
Oh, there's so many, especially in this country.
If you were to be philanthropist Ray.
I think I would housing. I would make sure that everyone gets a decent house. We cannot continue living like this. I'm quite passionate about it, actually. Everybody needs a decent house. I would declare war on squatter camps and shacks and this horrible thing that's going on. That's
just
what I
living
would
in
do.
better spaces.
Yeah, just come on, man. We South Africans. What's this about? What would you do?
I think for me, it's always been grassroots sports.
Okay.
Because I've seen it change a lot of my friends' lives, my own life as well, because it takes you away from a lot of bad things that could be happening in your own environment. So grassroots sports would be definitely the focus for me. Amo?
it would be literacy and literature for every child.
Lovely.
No matter what background you're from, no matter what environment you live in, just access to having your first book. I'd make sure that every child has had an experience with a book.
Gosh, guys, we've got a Minister of Finance here, Minister of Basic Education, and one of Housing. What would you do? 072-702-1702.
702.
Weather.
Let's see what's happening with your weather today. Right, Johannesburg starting at 13, going up to 27. Nice and sunny today. Pretoria 28, Vereniging 29. A foggy morning for Cape Town, becoming partly cloudy with a moderate to strong southeasterly low of 12, a high of 19. Mabula, good morning, Nelspruit, 27 degrees. Bloemfontein 27 as well. Durban partly cloudy 25. Kleiberger 21. East London 22. And Kimberley 28 degrees.
EWN Traffic.
It's 20 minutes past 6 o'clock. This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo, how are the roads?
Well, if you're traveling in Boksburg, we still have got those roadworks along the N17 west between the Carnival City entrance and Rondebold Road. As a result, about a 30-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout and drive with care. Traveling on the Mike 1 North bumper-to-bumper traffic already between Boysons and Car Street, and that's due to peak time delays along this route. And there's also queuing traffic on the N1 1 North towards the deported interchange. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurers will do all they can to save you money on your car insurance premium. But what if they just can't? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. That's right, just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer NFSP, TCs and information online.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
I'm Deirdre from Oakden. I've probably been listening to 702 for about 40 years. I listen most of the day, and I really can't imagine my life or my day without 702. I'm kept up to date with all the news. And I must say that I personally believe I hear the news before anybody else. When I hear it on 702, nobody else has heard it yet. And I'd just like to say, keep up the good work.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 kg Tastic long grain, parboiled, brown or soft absorbing rice assorted for $34.99. Save 10 Rand with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Spar sunflower or canola oil for $69.99 with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Wayne, for you, what is the real deal?
For me, it's really customer service. It's getting my money's worth. So if I phone Outsurance and I've got a problem, they're always there.
So it's not just, we've got your money, now off you go.
No, money is not the biggest deal for me. It's service. Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, TCs and information online.
Life's full of moments that need the right support, whether it's a dream vacation, everyday expenses, or surprise costs. So give yourself some credit with the Visa FNB credit card, a life resource that gives you e-bucks, travel perks, interest-free periods, and more. Apply for a Visa FNB credit card online or visit your nearest branch today. Help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. Credit is subject to meeting the qualifying criteria. FNB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this heritage weekend at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday the 20th, catch Don Tolliver, Questa, Inkaba Zezwe, and much, much more. And on the 21st, that's Sunday, don't miss the iconic Lauryn Hill on her 25th anniversary tour with special guests Wycliffe Jean, YG Marley, and Zion Marley as well, with Lera Mandisi, Giantis, and Zoe Modica also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster, of course. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and proudly supported by 702.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Right, 5 things you need to know about. Home Affairs has deported over 51,000 illegal immigrants since the government of national unity took office, surpassing the previous 5 years combined. Well, Minister Leon Schreiber credits technology-driven reforms, including biometric verification drones, for improving border control and also clearing a backlog of 306,000 visa applications. A time capsule sealed by Princess Diana in 1991 at the Great Ormond Street Hospital has been opened, revealing 1990 items such as, get this one, a Kylie Minogue CD, a pocket TV, and a solar calculator. The opening coincides with the upcoming 28th anniversary of her death and highlights her major role in the hospital's fundraising efforts. India's Supreme Court has ordered an investigation into Anant Ambani's Vantara Zoo over alleged illegal wildlife imports and financial misconduct. Now, this facility, housing over 150,000 animals, faces criticism for not having plans to reintroduce endangered species into the wild. Adam will have more on this in the Worldview later on. Police in Istanbul have seized jewelry, precious metals, and historical artifacts worth over $30 million in a raid at the Grand Bazaar. The operation targeted smuggled diamonds, leading to 50 arrests across 23 businesses. And then today, I know that Mateo loves her. Today we celebrate the birthday of Shania Twain. Born on this day in 1963, the legendary Canadian singer, songwriter, who redefined country music with over 100 million records sold. She holds the title for the best-selling female artist in country music history.
Shout. No inhibitions, make no conditions, get a little out of line. I ain't gonna act politically correct, I only wanna have a good time.
Here we go, Mateo, just for you this morning. She's 60 years old today. And boy, she feels like a woman. Here we go.
702.
The newspapers.
Safiso Zulu.
Good morning, Ray.
Good to see you once again in person. I hear you every morning driving to work, so there we go.
Absolutely.
Good to hear you this morning. Right, the newspapers, what do you have?
Right. I don't know if you've heard of this K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a popular Netflix among children. I heard about it yesterday, actually. It is one of the original films on Netflix. It has garnered about 236 million views in 10 weeks. Apparently, it's popular among young kids. I don't know if the kids in your household are aware of it. K-pop Demon Hunters.
No.
Quite fascinated by it. Like I said, I heard about it for the first time yesterday. It is quite popular. This is a story that the Wall Street Journal is running with this morning.
All right, the Star newspaper this morning, Malema's hate speech ruling. That's been a very big story. The Citizen, Home Affairs boots thousands. We've just been speaking about that. What else do you have?
Page 4 of the Sowetan is about a lawyer who has been banned from practicing as an attorney. Joburg lawyer Arnold Mkabela, notorious for stealing from his clients who were RAF claimants, has been banned from practicing as a lawyer. The High Court in Pretoria last week found that he was not fit and proper to practice law after more than 70 complaints were lodged against him by RAF clients, which is a concerning ongoing thing between RAF and clients and lawyers who are representing people in that agency.
Right, and some international ones. The Wall Street Journal, Exxon Russia in secret talks. That's not going to excite too many politicians. And then also as well, I'm loving this, in Vietnam today, they're talking about they're house proud. They're dealing with their housing problems. Those are the
newspapers.
EWN Business.
Right, Mateo Clarieta, you're asking us, if you had all the money in the world, which worthy cause would you champion? Why are you asking us that?
Well, Ray, the independent education group Curo could see its fortunes change. The Yanni Morton Foundation, a public benefit organization, has tabled a $7.2 billion rand bid to rework the private education group into a non-profit. The foundation says it wants to use the school group as a platform to extend quality education to the country's vulnerable by using the money to create bursaries and build schools in areas that don't have access to private education. Now, here's how the deal is structured. The Yanni Morton Foundation is offering Curro shares at 13 Rand per share, which is a 60% premium to what the share trades at currently at 8 Rand 13 cents. Shareholders will get 6.6% in cash, about 85 cents per share, nearly 80% in Capitec shares, and around 14 shares in PSG Financial Services stock. Now, according to Forbes, the Morton family is worth $1.9 billion or 34 billion rand. So they do have the money. The foundation's namesake, Yanni Morton, is the retired founder of investment firm PSG, which has backed the likes of Capitec and Curro. Now, PSG was also involved in some of the country's biggest listings on the JSE. The offer couldn't have come at a better time for Curro Group. The private education company reported flat earnings for the 6 months to end June, despite a 4.7% increase in revenue to 2.7 billion rand. Now, Curro's learner numbers were lower, recording a 1.4% drop in learner numbers as households remain stretched in South Africa. Should the foundation's bid succeed, parents would still be expected to pay fees, but instead of the earnings going to shareholders, they will be used for the school's major expansion, including bursaries and the building of
How
schools.
cool is that? So people benefit. What a great idea. All right, how's the rand and the markets looking?
Markets were a little lower yesterday, down 426 points. Yesterday, industrials were lower by more than 0.5%. Financial shares held on for very minimal gains, while mining shares were also down yesterday. Rand at this hour, 17 Rand 69 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 59 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 87 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,390 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,346. Brent crude at $66.87 a barrel. More business after 7.
Thank you, Mateo. 6:32 the time. Safiso Zulu. Of course, there's one big story this morning.
That's right, Ray. Good morning. Tributes continue to pour in for EWN's politics associate editor and broadcaster Cidi Madia, as 702 listeners also expressed their heartbreak following her passing. Madia died at the age of 42 yesterday after a short illness in hospital. Cidi played a major role contributing political commentary on all Prime Media's radio stations and digital platforms, including the podcast Politricking with Cidi Madia. Madia presented some shows, often standing in on the Midday Report and the Clement Manyatela Show, connecting with listeners from all walks of life. Many listeners say they will miss her work.
It is very, very sad, and I'm really heartbroken. It will never be the same. As we mourn the passing of Cidi, I wish you strength from day to day, as well as us listeners, because we've become such a tight family.
We will miss you, my sister. May your soul rest in eternal peace.
The first time I met her was there was a strike in Tembisa. We were striking about the electricity. The time when the mayor was still Tanya Campbell. I met Cidi at Mesharing Stadium. I waved at her. She waved back. She looked at me. I kept on waving, and then I went through the security, and then I went to her, and then I greeted her. There's not even a single politricking show of Cidi that I've missed.
Joburg residents can breathe a sigh of relief as the city's water utility has completed maintenance work at the Crosby pump station in an effort to improve supply. Areas including Westbury, Westdean, Coronationville and Claremont had to contend with dry taps last night during repair work. Joburg Water spokesperson Nombuso Shabalala has outlined that high-lying areas will be the last to be restored today.
Johannesburg Water remains consistent with ongoing efforts to ensure reliable and long-term water supply through the upgrading of existing infrastructure and the provision of new water infrastructure for additional capacity to support higher density areas.
The KwaZulu-Natal Transport Department says it's reached out to its provincial e-hailing council to restore calm following the shooting of e-hailing drivers. 2 drivers were wounded after they were allegedly assaulted by taxi operators in the north of Durban. 1 other e-hailing vehicle was also attacked during the assault. Transport MEC Sponiso Duma says the department will be working with KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to restore stability and find the perpetrators. The MEC spokesperson Ndabezin Hlesbia.
In addition, the MEC has mandated the provincial regulatory entity, Operation Chanela, to work with other law enforcement officers in order to avoid the repeat of what we witnessed in Maponya Mall. According to the MEC, the Tabega shooting will unfortunately reopen healing wounds of relatives of the late e-hailing driver, Mthokozi Simvelase.
And the Trump administration has confirmed the firing of the head of the top U.S. public health agency after she refused to step down during a standoff with vaccine skeptic Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The escalating dispute over Kennedy's sweeping overhaul of U.S. vaccine policy also led to 5 other senior officials at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention announcing their resignations. Susan Monaris, a health scientist and longtime civil servant, had been the CDC's head for less than a month when Kennedy's Department of Health and Human Services announced on X that she is no longer a director. Her lawyers say Monaris neither resigned nor received notification from the White House about her being fired. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N17 West between Carnival City entrance and the R21 Heidelberg Road. That's due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. Please be on the lookout. Rondebolt Road, rather. And then traveling on the Mark 1 North bumper to bumper traffic between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
The top story this hour. Tributes continue to pour in for EWN's politics associate editor and broadcaster Cidi Madia as 702 listeners express their heartache following her passing.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who introduces himself and people say, I know.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and Vitamin.co.za. Vitamin. Don't get older. Get better.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 liter 6-pack Spar Long Life full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900-gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Let's talk tills. Most just take money. But what if your till could think for you? Introducing Yoko Counter, the smartest till you'll ever own. Cut guesswork and save time with integrated payments, real-time reports, seamless stock management, and easy staff tracking. It's all connected right there on one device. Upgrade to Yoko Counter at yoko.com.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality and sustainability with Africa at the center. Tune in tomorrow between 6 and 9 a.m. for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. Get all the latest news, views, insights and breakthroughs from the summit as it happens. The G20 Correspondence Deck on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Radio 702. Oh my goodness, I feel so sad for the death of Cidi Madia. I am always listening on 702, and I love their friendship with Clement Magnetella, and also how bold she would be when she interviews the politicians. And oh my goodness, such a young life. So sad. May her soul rest in peace. I think I'm also just triggered, especially when she died from a short illness. I've just recently lost my husband. Yeah, I am really, really sad for Cidi. Condolences to you all, family.
Good morning, 702 Ray and the team. It was with a heavy heart and a sad heart that, we've lost such a beautiful woman. She was so inspiring. Cidi has inspired me immensely. I think I fell more in love with her after the interview with that reporter in America. She has, I don't know, she's just given me a total shift towards politics. I'm so sad because she was such a fighter for all of us and she spoke for us. So it is a very heavy loss. May her condolences to her family.
Paying tribute this morning to the late great Cidi Madia, and I think all of us here at 702 and Prime Media this morning, and it's very surreal for all of us because you think to yourself, did that really happen? Is this a dream? But this is where we are at the moment. Keep your WhatsApps coming in this morning. We're talking about the life and times of Cidi Madia, and later on I'll be chatting to ANC Secretary General for Mabula about Cidi, because Cidi was quite critical. Should go in with her questions, and also inviting other politicians today. Did you get on the right side, the wrong side, or any side with Cidi Madia? Because her questions were so to the point, and I think that's what we're going to miss most about her.
EWN Sport.
18 minutes to 7 o'clock. Cidi Paluta. Now there's somebody I like to see in the morning. Hello,
good morning. Ray. Lovely to see you too.
Okay, what you got in the world of sport?
Well, the highly anticipated showdown between defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs ended goalless. Chiefs unbeaten in 4 games are joint second on the table, just behind Sekhukhune on goal difference, after Sekhukhune finished 1-1 with AmaZulu. Sundowns coach Miguel Cardozo.
When you play an away match in a team that is like Kaizer Chiefs, you should expect that the games are divided. You should expect that the games are tough, well played. And that's what we saw today, a beautiful game between two teams that fight it a lot. The teams that are in two different moments. One team comes from 3 victories. We come from 2 draws in matches that we were winning.
And Golden Arrows beat Magesi 2-1 last night as well. High drama in the English Premier League. Grimsby Town knocked Manchester United out on penalties 12-11.
Grimsby Town?
Right.
Like what?
4th tier side.
I was about to say, where are they from? Grimsby, I suppose. Who knew? Didn't see that
one
coming.
Grimsby.
Yes, okay.
United came from 2 goals down. They finished 2-2. Maguire with the equaliser in the 89th minute. United boss Ruben Amorim.
It's not about the result. In the penalties, I was not thinking about the penalties to go to the next stage. I think the way we play, the way we face the competition, in one moment that everything is so important, guys, it's really clear. I just want to apologize to our fans, and we'll have a game now, and then we'll have time to think.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah. In other selected results, Fulham beat Bristol, City 2-0, Brighton thrashed Oxford 6-0, Everton got a 2-0 win over Mansfield. At the US Open, South African Lloyd Harris was knocked out in the second round by last year's runner-up Taylor Fritz. Fritz came from a set down to win 4-6, 7-6, 6-2 and 6-4. Here's Harris.
Not the result I want, and I think it's always hard on the day, to reflect and see those positives. But I think, like you said, there probably is a lot, and we'd have to go look back and see what's the things that was going well for me and how we can improve on those.
Also through to the next round, Alcaraz and Shelton in straight sets, while Djokovic needed 3. On the women's side, easy day on court for Andreeva, Pegula, Sabalenka, Rybakina. And in golf, Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley has decided not to pick himself as a player for the showdown with Europe next month. Cidi Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primemediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
At the heart of global conversation shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever before. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, the Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters the most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair is here. Enjoy unbeatable savings on skincare that loves your skin as much as you do. Glow, hydrate and radiate. From expert-approved dermacosmetics to everyday essentials, we have the perfect match for your skin and your budget. Our skincare specialists are on hand, ready to help you find the best for your skin. Don't miss Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair. Now on. Stock up on skincare, cosmetics and fragrances at prices you will love. Offers valid until 14 September.
Start thinking about your future degree. The IIE MSA campus in the West Rand is hosting an open day on Saturday, 30 August. Meet our academics to discuss the IIE bachelor and postgraduate degrees in a wide range of study areas. Explore the largest private higher education campus in South Africa and experience the exciting student life. For more info, visit iiemsa.co.za. IIE MSA is a leading brand of the Independent Institute of Education, a registered higher education provider.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, my name is Sophia. I go to Crawford Santon, and I really want to be a chef or a swimmer when I grow up, and I'm really excited to play the Whiz Quiz.
Yo, Sophia, yes, the Whiz Quiz coming up shortly. Your chance to win 10,000 Rand. That could be you this morning.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes to 7 o'clock. This EWN Traffic brought to you by JQ. Start here and let nothing stop you, not even the traffic, Amor.
Well, Ray, at this particular moment, we've got an accident on the M1 North. It happened right near the Crown Interchange. Delays coming out of Boyson's Road while traveling on the M2 West bumper-to-bumper traffic as well due to peak time delays between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange. There's also long delays, heavy traffic volumes on the N17 West between Carnival City entrance and Rondebolt Road. This is due to roadworks in the Boksburg area. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
They'll tell you to wait until you're ready, until the plan is perfect, until you have it all together. But let's be real. Anyone who's done anything started without enough. They started nervous, started without a plan, until the hustle made sense. They started anyway. And when ambition calls, you need more than a ride. You need a car built to start you on your journey, to drive you into what's next. Start where it matters. Start where it counts. The new JQ J5. Start here.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
The Checkers Hyper price drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone steak for 140 Rand per kilo, save 20%. Nescafe Classic Instant Coffee 200 grams, any two for 199 Rand, save 91 Rand. And Parmalat Bulk Cheddar or Gouda Cheese 600 grams, any three for 249 Rand, save 126 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday. Only at Checkers Hyper.
I'm Dealer here with more than just a betting app ad. Download the 10Bet app and enjoy the action of betting anytime, anywhere. It's more than just an app. It's a 10Bet experience. Join now at 10bet.co.za. 10Bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line is 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076-675-0710.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Coming up on the program in the next hour, it's What's the Question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. Up for grabs 3,000 rands in cash. All you need to do is send us an answer on anything that has piqued your interest in the show, and you could win 1,000 rand. Simply WhatsApp your name and that answer to 072-702-1702. Then, of course, a little bit later on, someone else will ask the question to win 2,000 rand. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you have SMS out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. SMS out now to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Right, time to play the Whiz Quiz. Good morning, Sophia. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. Good. You go to Crawford Santon. And what did you say you want to do one day when you leave school?
Like a chef or be an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, sounds good. I like the chef part. You can come and bring us breakfast and things like that. Right. So, Sophia, I'm going to ask you 10 questions. For every one that you get right, you get 100 Rand in 60 seconds. If you get 10 out of 10 in 60 seconds, you get 10,000 Rand, and I'll bring you breakfast at your school. How does that sound?
It sounds good.
Good stuff. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right, KG, start the clock. Spell the word listen.
Listen.
Correct. Complete the saying, he put his best what forward?
Foot.
Correct. The word veggies, it's short for which food?
Vegetables.
Correct. Is the palate part of the mouth or the eyes? The mouth or the eyes?
The mouth.
Correct. True or false? South America is the continent with the most fresh water.
False.
Correct. In which sports would a player hit a ball and shout for?
Pass.
Okay, it's golf. What, beginning with a C, are the holes on the moon called?
Craves.
Okay, incorrect. Craters. In maths, what is 7 times 4?
28.
Correct. What, beginning with D, is a thick book containing the name... I can't continue that. That's dictionary containing the meaning of words. Okay, you got... Come, guys. Give me some fingers. All right. 6.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Thank you, Amo. Our judges have said 6 out of 10. I'm looking at the fingers. I'm just seeing lots of fingers. 6 out of 10. Well done, Sophia. That's 600 Rand on its way to you. Have an awesome day at Crawford today.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, bye. There we go. Sophia, 600 Rands in cash.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Let's climb into the news cycle now. And there are some serious questions about the role of Helen Boertus in the city of Johannesburg. She had headed up the Johannesburg property company, but the city stated that she had now exited from her position. Now, let me explain. The JPC manages a portfolio of just over 29,000 properties with a book value of 10.2 billion Rand, many of which are in poor condition. This is due to inadequate management as seen by the Usundiso shelter fire. You know that building in Johannesburg? It caught fire and 76 people were killed. Also, if you look at the Metro Centre, the Randburg Civic Centre, and numerous other properties, they've all fallen into disrepair. Well, there was a commission of inquiry headed by retired Constitutional Court Justice Cici Kampepe and looked into the Usundiso fire, and it found all sorts of things that happened. There were recommendations being given that the board should discipline her. We were told that she had exited from this. ALSA, the organization undoing tax abuse, they moved to have her declared as a delinquent director. However, there has been a meeting now. They call it the bomb squad meeting, and there are pictures of her being at this meeting. And there are questions about this. Advocate Stephanie Fick, hi, good morning. Good to have you on 702 Breakfast.
Good morning. It's only my pleasure.
So what's going on here? Is she there? Is she not there? They say she's a consultant. What is your take? What's going on?
I sometimes wonder, do they think people, the citizens of Johannesburg is stupid? So she's no longer in the employment, but she chairs the bomb squad meeting. And then they say she's a consultant. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So you either employ someone or you don't. And I don't think we want consultants running a very important committee in, one of the, it's a very big metro, very important metro. So what on earth is going on there? The impression you get is this is a person with political influence and that they want to keep her, despite the negative media that she's getting, and rightly so, because she's responsible for the fire and for the mismanagement of so many properties in Johannesburg. And if you sit here and wonder when is the next tragedy going to strike, and that will also be in her book, it is just not acceptable.
So President Cyril Ramaphosa sent this task team headed by Snooki Sikalala to address certain issues in Joburg. And we know about this. Buildings falling down, Joburg's in disrepair. He's arguing that she knows the city. She knows her way around the city. He needs her knowledge. What's your reaction to that?
Can I laugh? It is, if it wasn't, actually, it's a tragedy. The first thing I want to do is laugh, because it's like a comedy of errors. You want the person that is, I want to say it again, solely responsible with her team for the Isindisu fire. You want to put that person, you want that person's knowledge. Oh, come on, please. I mean, isn't there must be qualified individuals that can assist you with this very important job.
So where are you in having her declared a delinquent director? Because that's been your initiative. Where are you with that process?
Unfortunately, it is a longer process, and we've chosen to go for trial again, which means you can call witnesses and they can be cross-examined. It's not as quick as an application where it's done on paper, basically. We are in the beginning. But you know what? This, again, is a task that actually should have been done by the board of JPC. It should have been done by the city. So, again, civil society need to jump in, because we cannot let this go. It is it's a tragedy what happened there. And if you look at the Khampepe report, she is responsible. She is named in her person, the CEO of the ex-CEO of JPC, and this is our contribution to try and hold her accountable. But it's probably going to take a little bit, but hopefully, with pressures from the residents of Joburg, politicians need to understand that we have a local government election coming, and people aren't stupid. Thinking that we are not, and there's an election coming, and all of these things people will remember when they go to when they go and vote, and hopefully the pressure being brought upon the city for this will let them take steps and remove her from this committee. I am convinced that there are other qualified people that can assist the city in building our city up again, because I think we can all agree that the city is falling apart.
Advocate Stephanie Fick, who's out as Executive Director of Accountability. Good to have you on 702 Land. Your reaction to that interview?
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. The roads at the moment?
Well, if you're traveling on the Mike 1 North bumper to bumper traffic grey, this is between Boysons Road and Carr Street due to that major accident right near the Crown off-ramp, while heading towards Roodepoort. Delays on the N1 North between the N17 off-ramp and Albertina Sisulu Road. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car full of groceries and a lady who will be attempting to make her mother-in-law's famous recipe for the family dinner tonight.
5 mils of sugar.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's butterflies and a potential bonding moment. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Right, coming up in your program in the next half hour or so, talking to ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabula and others about the interactions with our late colleague Cidi Madia, and touching so many people's lives. This morning, coming into Prime Media, coming into 702 and talking to so many people, and remembering this morning Cidi Madia. She passed away yesterday unexpectedly. We were all in absolute shock. But if you look at Cidi's career, it was such a beautiful career, and we were talking about it earlier. The fact that she went off to the United States as a media ambassador, if you can put it that way, somebody who went there and said, this is fake news about our country. These are the stories. And her and colleague Clement Manyatela doing a brilliant job there. So looking at the career, the life of Cidi Madia this morning. We'd like to hear from you as well. 072 702. What are your memories and celebrating her life? It's 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
More tributes pour in for the late Cidi Madia.
Thank you so much for your messages of support.
And the presidency praises her for caring deeply for South Africa. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. At EWN, we remember our associate political editor Cidi Madia for her fearless journalism and her unforgettable presence. Tributes continue to pour in for Cidi, an esteemed political journalist who passed away in hospital yesterday morning after a short illness. Madia's death has left the country's media fraternity and many across the political landscape in shock and sadness. Her work and tenacity touched many in the country, and she was revered and respected by many, including President Cyril Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa says he will remember Madia for her tough questions and her hopeful vision of a country that can and should be better. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
We were at the Oval Office with the president during the bilateral meeting with President Trump. And obviously, like all South Africans, there was a level of anxiety. And, Cidi was not only an objective reporter, but was also a patriotic South African who did not take kindly to have a president treated in that manner and to have a country portrayed in that manner.
Mongezi Koko reports with more tributes.
Sister Bettina. All right.
For many who knew her, this is how they remembered Cidi Madia, warm, funny, and always lightening a room, even when holding power to account. Her career spanned broadcast, print, and digital platforms, most recently as associate political editor at Eyewitness News. Madia was known for asking the tough questions that cut through political spin.
When you came in, you made a ton of promises.
That there has never been a single person who left the DA who wasn't sorry afterwards.
I wonder about that. I think if you go to Action and say, you'll get a very different answer.
She brought the same fearlessness to her podcast Politricking with Cidi Madia, where presidents, party leaders, and international figures faced her direct yet human line of questioning.
Thank you so much for your messages of support.
Cidi Madia leaves behind a generation of journalists and audiences whose lives she touched. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Former ANC spokesperson Bulemabe continues to insist he's innocent as he seeks to have his fraud and corruption charges withdrawn. Mabe, along with 6 co-accused, appeared in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court yesterday over an irregular tender awarded to his company in 2017. The state claims that Mabe was still a member of parliament when he secured the contract, despite parliamentary rules prohibiting MPs from doing business with the government. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Former ANC spokesperson Bulemabe has submitted representations to the state seeking the withdrawal of his fraud, money laundering and corruption charges. The state has requested 6 months to review the submissions, noting that his 6 co-accused have made similar requests. While Mabe maintains his innocence, he says the charges have brought some positive changes in his personal life.
One of the greatest things that this case has done is that it has given us the freedom of the soul, and it has made us realize that, as the Bible says, we are stronger together. So that's what we have learned. So there's no stress here, but we're fine, we're good.
Mabe will return to court on the 18th of February next year, where the outcome of his submissions will be announced. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Palm Ridge.
And International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says a decision is imminent on appointing an ambassador to the United States. Despite the president's special envoy, Mcebisi Jonas, not having traveled to the US, Lamola says it's not a permanent job and there's no intention to replace him. At a briefing yesterday, Lamola said despite months of tensions with the US government, there were still regular interactions between government officials. Lindsay Dentlinger takes a look.
Minister Ronald Lamola says government is still actively working on trying to reduce hefty trade tariffs introduced by the United States. While he has not confirmed that the president's trade envoy, Mcebisi Jonas, has been denied entry to the US, Lamola says Jonas continues to do the work required of him.
It is correct, he has not been to the US at this stage, but he has been doing some work. He has also engaged with various stakeholders on the approach and also on the issues in the background.
Lamola says an ambassadorial appointment is also not far off. This follows the abrupt expulsion of former Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool in March, who was forced to leave the United States within days after comments he made during a webinar.
What we are currently considering, and almost at an advanced stage, is the appointment of a permanent ambassador.
Lamola says a U.S. Congressional Foreign Affairs delegation will be visiting the country this week. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,343.55 an ounce. The rand is at 17.67 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.50 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North heading towards Roodepoort along this route between the N17 and Albertina Sisulu Road. There's also queuing traffic in Boksburg along the N17 West between Carnival City entrance and Rondebolt Road. And this is due to long-term roadworks taking place along this route.
And in your sport, Kaizer Chiefs' unbeaten run continues after last night's goalless game with Mamelodi Sundowns. Man United knocked out of the League Cup by fourth-tier side Grimsby on a penalty shootout, 12-11. And South African Lloyd Harris out of the US Open as the top seeds cruise to round 3.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 13 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 14 and 28. Vereniging 12 and 29. The top story this hour. EWN remembers Associate Political Editor Cidi Madia for her fearless journalism and her unforgettable presence.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It is 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. Good to be in your company. It's a bit of a surreal day for us here at 702 and also for you in 702 land this morning, learning about the passing of colleague and friend Cidi Madia. We're going to continue the discussion this morning with a different take. Asking you this morning, what are your favorite memories of Cidi? Celebrating her life, celebrating her career as well. So we'd like to hear from you. What are you celebrating about Cidi Madia? Because let's be honest about it, she was quite an extraordinary journalist, and it's time to say thank you, I think, as well. I'll be chatting to former colleagues and also ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabula, who often faced Cidi's quite tough questions. We heard earlier on, I think in early breakfast this morning, from Musi Mayamani. But if you are a politician and you did interact with Cidi, let us know and give us a call. Phone in. We'd like to hear from you. Or just WhatsApp if you like, 072 702 1702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Of course, the news cycle does continue as well. So, on this day in history, Toyota Motor Company Limited was founded in 1937 by Kichiro Toyoda. Now, I'll explain why it's Toyota. who separated the automotive division from the Toyota Automatic Loom Works to pursue vehicle manufacturing. The venture stemmed from Kichoro's determination to enter the car industry, even though his father was initially hesitant. The company name shifted from Toyota to Toyota because the 8-stroke version was believed to bring good fortune, so that's why they changed the name. In other news, EFF leader Julius Malema has been found guilty of hate speech by the Western Cape Equality Court for remarks made at a 2022 rally, which included calls for killing, which the court deemed an incitement to violence and hatred. You'll hear more on that in Eyewitness News. Then Germany's cabinet has approved a draft bill introducing voluntary military service with the option to reinstate conscription if troop numbers fall short. The plan aims to expand the Bundeswehr from 182,000 to 260,000 soldiers by the end of 2030. Then in 1963, there was this speech. Oh, our computer's giving us hassles again. All right, I'll tell you more about it, then I'll play the speech. Right, in 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered the historic I Have a Dream speech at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. He spoke to over 250,000 people from the Lincoln Memorial, calling for racial equality and justice through nonviolent means. Now, the speech became a defining moment in the civil rights movement and one of the most influential addresses in U.S. history.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Yeah. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
There we go. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered the historic I Have a Dream speech. And then South Africa's government, our government, is cracking down on social media influencers linked to the Russian Alabunga job scam, which defrauded job seekers with false promises of work abroad. The Deputy Minister, Steve Letseke, has confirmed a list of implicated influencers. They've been handed over to the police for criminal investigation. Authorities are also removing fraudulent adverts and urging young people to verify job offers through official channels. So yes, you have been warned.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Right, 12 minutes past 7 o'clock. This Eyewitness News traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. 102 incidents this morning.
Well, Ray, heading towards the city of Tshwane Centurion, we've got an accident on Old Johannesburg Road. It's right near the N14 exit. It's causing delays coming out of the N1 bridge while traveling on the N1 south towards Midrand. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Brockfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road, while on the N12 as well as the R24 west, queuing traffic between Edenville Road and the Kilulise interchange.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 81. You had load shedding, couldn't charge your phone, so you didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late, you see. The Outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something else, in proud partnership, of course, with 702. Show them some love online by using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
It's time to eat, dance, and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment from international acts to SA's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. So browse fashion and art, take part in live cooking demos, and soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, the 20th of September, is for you and your crew, and on Sunday, the 21st of September, it's for family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30 and you're invited to the party. One ticket, endless experiences. Now tickets at Ticketmaster, more on deliciousfestival.com.
Time to review my favorite employee, my F&B Gold business account. You give me thousands of potential customers by listing my business on NAV Marketplace and access to Guard Me, a bodyguard for cash drops, locking up. No other card does this. If you weren't a bank card, I'd give you a raise.
The F&B Gold business account. No other card works harder for your business because your safety is worth it. F&B, help changes everything. T's and C's apply. F&B, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Hi everyone, I'm Dean McPherson, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Since I was appointed just over a year ago, we've laid a firm foundation in the department, and after tabling our 7.6 billion rand budget for growth, we're now turning plans into action. That means that we're moving government departments into our own state-owned buildings to save you billions of rands in rent. We're unlocking public land to build affordable housing, create shelters for victims of gender-based violence, and to boost food production. We're also tackling corruption head-on without fear or favor. And we're giving young South Africans real opportunities through a reformed EPWP program that focuses on skills and long-term jobs. And this is only the beginning. With your support, we're building a capable and professional department that delivers infrastructure, creates jobs, and puts public assets to work for the public good. The best is yet to come because we're building a better country for you, brick by brick.
Imagine being 16 and deciding it's time to change your own life. This afternoon on 702 Drive with John Perlman, we'll meet a rather remarkable young man who made a courageous, life-changing decision to be his own hero. By choosing to undergo a cleft palate procedure, he didn't just transform his smile, he transformed his future. Don't miss the inspiring conversation made possible by the Dis-Chem Foundation this afternoon on 702 Drive with John Perlman. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem or Dis-Chem Baby City benefit card supports initiatives that change the lives across South Africa. Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
702.
The Big Interview.
Hi, good morning, 702 listeners. My name is Sam from Soweto. I remember Cidi Madia on her podcast when she was interviewing Julius Malema. When Julius Malema was saying, Cidi, I'm not going anywhere. Thank you, Sam from Joburg.
Morning, 702 land. Wow, man, Cidi. Wow, I'm going to miss the laughter, the hard questions she had, the humor she just had. I love watching politicking with Cidi. Yeah, what a loss, what a loss. Condolences to the family at large.
Thank you so much for your WhatsApps this morning. They're pouring in, and we can't get to all of them. We're trying to get through quite a few. Talking to some of Cidi's former colleagues now, and somebody who worked closely with Eyewitness News and with Cidi as well, is Sabu Ngalwa. Sabu, good morning. Good to have you on 702.
Thank you for having me, Ray, and thank you for this opportunity to talk about my friend and colleague.
Oh, Sabu, I mean, condolences to you as well. You and Cidi were friends and colleagues. We've lost a powerhouse in SA journalism. I mean, I can only imagine what you're thinking this morning.
I think, Ray, it's been a difficult one, but it's not just my loss. It's a loss for the entire EWN family, the entire journalism fraternity, South Africans, and I would even argue Africans at large. So such was the impact of Cidi on our lives and in the body of journalism and telling of the South African story.
Yeah. All right. We all work together up in that Eyewitness newsroom, and your memories, some of your memories of Cidi, because you also worked on many stories closely together. And this was the lovely thing, because we had you on the one hand, this political powerhouse, and we had another powerhouse being Cidi Madia. I mean, some of your memories.
I must say, Ray, that I would say I was a political imposter. Cidi was always a superstar. What had happened is that when I arrived at EWN, and Cidi was the senior politics reporter, and I had appointed her as politics editor, as associate editor for politics, and I was clear to her with my mandate. I said, Cidi, you are the Messi to my Barcelona. You are going to lift our political coverage. We'll build the political coverage around you, and you will take EWN to the next level. And that's a role, Ray, she carried with great aplomb. And she also played a huge role in nurturing young talent. She had time for young talent. She had time for the underdog. She loved people who were othered. She also loved political misfits, Ray. And she had, like for instance, there's a reason why Ace Magashule, when he was kicked out of the ANC, the first person he thought of calling was Cidi Madia, because Cidi had time and she had an ear for everyone. And she was respected across the industry. And I mean, you asked about a personal anecdote. I always called her by her full name, Matsidiso. And she used to argue with me that whenever she was called Matsidiso, it's when she was in trouble. But funnily enough, she called me Mhleli, which is the Nguni word for the editor. Yeah. But when she was upset with me, she would call Faith Busiso.
Oh,
and she would and her favorite refrain was that Busiso la lapisa, which is Busiso, you are tiring. You know, you and your people la lapisa. I was Busiso. And she had this thing where she would walk into my office and she'd say, can we talk? And by the time she finishes that sentence, she has closed the door and she has plunked herself into a seat. She's not actually asking me to talk to her. She's telling me that she's coming with an issue. And then that was Cidi Ray. And the thing about her is that she worked very hard, and sometimes I think to her detriment. You know, there'd be times where she would call me late in the night and say, hey, you won't believe what I just heard. This is what just happened. It's like, yeah, well, sure, okay. Let's deal with it in the morning. It's like, oh, what's you're not interested? I'm like, no, I'm interested, but we'll deal with it in the morning. You know, that was Cidi, and I think, Ray, the outpouring of love is a testament to what Cidi was to all of us and what she was to this country that she served so well.
But it's so interesting, Sabu, because she had that ability to make those relationships with politicians. But it wasn't a friendship. Those people knew, those politicians knew that Cidi was going to come for them either way. But she managed to get in with them, and they would actually confide in her, like you said with Ace Magashule. These things don't happen, do they? This is a rare type of political editor, political reporter.
No, naturally. And I think the thing is that you can't separate the person from the professional. Yes, there's a professional side, but who Cidi was as a human being, she's personable, she's loving, and she's loyal, and she actually genuinely had time for people, you know, and that's why she commanded respect across the spectrum. I think there was a politician who wrote yesterday, I think it was Pumzile van Dam, who said there was a point where she would argue with Cidi, and she believed that Cidi hated her party at that time, when she actually got to a point where she realized that I'm sure every other politician at some point believed that about Cidi, but then learned to appreciate that Cidi was just the consummate professional, and she was fair, and she was ethical as a journalist, and there was never a blurring of the lines. There were relationships where, I mean, we deal with politicians every day. These are people we talk to every day. We grow close relationship, but there was never a time when Cidi broke her journalistic ethics or lowered her journalistic standards, regardless of who the player was. She understood the role she played as a journalist and the role of journalism in our society, Ray.
Yeah. What are you going to miss the most about it? It's a difficult question. It's a complex question, but what are you going to miss the most about her?
Ray, the sadness with this is that Cidi was always a star, but her passing comes at a time when her star was shining ever so bright. She and I would argue time and again. I said, okay, now it's time that you must do public speaking. You must have a manager. And she says, no, that's not for me. But in June, she said to me, Sbu, I'm ready. You had always said, let's have this discussion. And I said, okay, that's fine. I took her to introduce her to what do they call, talent management company that I knew. And she sent me a message, actually, at the beginning of this month and says, look, I've signed with the speaker's firm, and I'm excited. And I said, that's good. Those are good people. And she said, I trust you. Ray, when I read that message now, and I think that was Cidi, she was so genuine, and she loved when she loved. And also, it was also her flaw, because that was also, she trusted too much, and sometimes people would disappoint her, but what I'll miss about her really is her dedication to journalism, and also she had no time for authority. This is the woman who could shout for Trump to recognize her at the Oval Office. How much more for a lowly guy like me and you,
Oh, you're so right.
You
are so right.
She doesn't care whether you are a news editor, an editor-in-chief, a CEO, or a president. She's Cidi Madia, and that is what I'll miss about her. But I think that she has left truly a mark in South African journalism. And I hope that the young people she was coaching and nurturing will continue on that path. But also, I think we can keep her memory alive by always referring and also profiling the work that she did, and also putting her as the lodestar and the model of what true journalism is about.
Sbu Ngolwa, it's been lovely chatting to you this morning. Thank you so much. Sbu Ngolwa, of course, working with us at Eyewitness News. He was the editor-in-chief there. Thank you, Sbu. Great to have you on 702. Joining us, ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mabula. Good morning, SG. Good to have you also on 702. I just wish we were talking under other circumstances and not this one. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, and to all your listeners and EWN. Thank you for having us to pay tribute to Cidi. What a wonderful soul, and very truly independent mind, non-partisan, say it as it is. She will take you on, open to engagement, and where there was a need to admit that, yes, I committed a mistake, it's an oversight, she will, but she didn't pull punches. I mean, Cidi was truly a patriot and a journalist who stood their ground on issues, and is not a kind of person you'll go to her to a show and then you'll choose issues. No backs. She will no backs. No backs. No. I've got to ask you questions. I mean, it was a shock. I mean, it's a shock. Condolences to EWN, to the colleagues in the media, and her family. Indeed, we are poorer without her.
Thank you. Some of your other sort of memories as well, because she did. I mean, I know I edited some of the stories involving yourself. Some of your memories were seedy, because you're right, she didn't pull her punches, did she?
No, she didn't. She was fair. And I think that I've got many memories with Cidi. As Secretary General, and even before then, but the Secretary General, I interacted a lot with her in press conferences, and as well as I came to the studio when she launched the show there. We had a long interview and so on. So a lot of things that we engaged around. But you know what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't bear a grudge with Cidi, because she will give you a fair chance, but she wouldn't. No, there's no question she wouldn't ask you. And she really kept us on our toes and accountable, and that's what is important.
I would think as well she's a good lesson for younger journalists coming through, because you're on the other side. We ask the questions, but you're on the other side. This is a great lesson for other journalists to act like Cidi acted, ask the hard questions, but also be fair.
Yes, all of us, she was, rising. And South Africa will remember her for what happened at the Oval Office. And when she was in the United States, she really moved this nation, in a big way. And she touched every soul, I can tell you, because that movie that was playing in that Oval Office was watched by every South African, black and white. And then for those who didn't know her, some of us, we knew her because we were in the field with her. That was the moment for Cidi. And, it was indeed a shock to learn about her passing away. But may her soul rest in peace, man. History will remember, fairly. And as a great South African indeed.
Thank you so much, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabula. Thank you so much for your kind words and also for coming on to 702 this morning. We really do appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Condolences once more. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There we go.
EWN Business.
And 702 Land, continue with your reaction as well. You're very important to us this morning. We are celebrating the life this morning of Cidi Madia. Right, Mateo, business news, Bidcorp posting an increase in profits.
Yeah, hitting 12.9 billion rand there. Ray International Food Service Group, Bidcorp, reporting an increase in profit. The food group says the headline earnings per share rose 9.6%, reflecting a strong operational performance. The company has also declared a final cash dividend for its shareholders, up 6.2%. Bidcorp's revenue largely generated outside of South Africa, with 94% of revenue coming from its international business. Bidcorp's EU businesses delivering double-digit growth during the period, while emerging market operations like South Africa also pulled their weight. Some weakness on the JSE yesterday. The All Share down more than 400 points. The Rand, though, at this hour strengthening against the resurgent dollar at 17 Rand 66, at 20 Rand 56 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 86 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,390 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,347. Brent crude at $66.88 a barrel. I'll have more business for you after 8.
Thank you, Mateo. Just on 7:31. Right, Fiso Zulu, you've heard the interviews this morning and the story continues. And this Eyewitness News brought to you by Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices, Fiso.
Thanks, Ray. Good morning. Friends and colleagues continue to praise EWN's Politics Associate Editor Cidi Madia for being a fearless journalist. Madia died yesterday at the age of 42 after a short illness and stay in hospital. Her death has sparked shock across South Africa's media fraternity, where she was known for her sharp political reporting and her warm and disarming style. Former EWN Editor-in-Chief Bongani says Cidi played an important role in South Africa's media landscape.
When I arrived at EWN, and Cidi was the senior politics reporter, and I appointed her as politics editor, associate editor for politics. And I was clear to her with my mandate. I said, Cidi, you are the Messi to my Barcelona. You are going to lift our political coverage. We'll build the political coverage around you, and you will take EWN to the next level. And that's a role, Ray, she carried with great aplomb.
NSFAS says by the end of October, it will have a new student accommodation framework to assist with the current challenges it faces. The financial aid scheme has battled for years with delays of funding disbursement, unpaid landlords, and even left some funded students without a place to stay. NSFAS held a media briefing in Pretoria yesterday to address these and other administrative issues. Jabuli Dembata has more.
The Private Student Housing Association has this month spoken out about NSFAS paying rent money into the account of students, a mistake the scheme had made. The association says while many students are responsible and will use the money for accommodation, others who have more pressing issues might redirect those funds and risk eviction. Yesterday, the new NSFAS board members assured the public that it will have its house in order, with projects approved to make the necessary changes. Acting NSFAS CEO Wasim Karim says they are reviewing a new accommodation system.
NSFAS does not want to pass the student accommodation function around like a football. And we want to ensure that we build the correct governance framework, policy environment, internal controls, skills and capacity, as well as business processes.
The scheme has urged landlords to follow payment guidelines to avoid eviction of its tenants. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says he has requested a briefing with National Police Commissioner Fani Masimula in relation to the ongoing gang violence in the Western Cape. Kachalia addressed police top brass and dignitaries from across Africa and abroad at the opening day of the 27th Interpol African Regional Conference yesterday. The event, which is being held over 3 days, comes as gang violence in the Cape continues to claim the lives of gang members and innocent residents almost daily. Carlo Peterson reports.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says he was called to take action after the Muslim Judicial Council and Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba contacted him to raise concerns about escalating gang violence in Cape Town. Kachalia says he has since requested a briefing from National Police Commissioner Fani Masimula about what the SAPS is doing to curb gang violence in the Western Cape.
So that I understand what SAPS is doing and where the gaps might be. Then I'm going to engage with the religious leaders who've taken the initiative to talk with me on Monday, hopefully.
Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N1 North between the N17 off-ramp and Roodepoort entrance Albertina Sisulu Drive, while travelling on the Mike 1 North. Bumper-to-bumper traffic as well between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
The top story this hour: friends and colleagues continue to praise EWN's Politics Associate Editor Cidi Madia for being a fearless journalist.
For mind-blowing bathroom specials, come to Bathroom Bazaar. Celebrate spring with a small upgrade that makes a big difference. Get 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar so you can freshen up in style. That's right, 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar. But hurry, only while stocks last. That's Pizarre. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Can you share with us, TG, about the state of the party's finances? Because there have been issues around salaries that are not being paid at some point. Where are you now in terms of your finances? Have you managed to stabilize that?
I would prefer not to discuss the finances of the ANC because I don't think it is necessary. I thought I was also here to deal with the issues of this being a Women's Month.
But TG, you're the Treasurer General of the ANC. I wouldn't invite a senior leader like you to just talk about women's issues.
It's not minimizing, not to talk about other things. But all I can say is that we have worked very hard to stabilize the finances, and we are stable, and also we need to work even harder.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Big winner alert. One lucky winner has just won 1.9 million rand from a 50-cent bet with Betway's Rising Riches jackpot. So, the Rising Riches jackpot drops on any slot, on any spin at any time, from 25,000 rand up to 2 million rand. Every spin increases the pots. Pick any slot game and get spinning right now. Will it be your lucky spin that wins, or get way more with Betway? And, it looks like quite something, winning all that money.
Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. For gambling counseling, call SARGF on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp 076 675 0710.
For over 200,000 businesses, Yoko has been there, backing the brave, simplifying payments with our legendary Little Blue Card Machine. We've built a legacy of making businesses run smarter. Now, meet the next generation of smart. Yoko Counter. It's the smartest till you'll ever own. Your all-in-one hub for seamless payments, crystal clear recons, effortless stock control, and efficient staff management. Yoko Counter. Level up at yoko.com.
Naked people spend more time outdoors. They're always walking or running or cycling up something steep. And that's because naked people get car and home insurance online in seconds, which means less time wasted on insurance admin and more time training for that triathlon they keep casually bringing up in conversation. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Ray, and good morning, team. Olani here from the Val. Tough morning, Ray. It was a tough afternoon, and I think it's gonna continue being a tough couple of days ahead. Like the song says, Ray, what we've been borrowed has been taken away, and it's the realization of the significant component that has been taken away. And my fond memory of Cidi, it was her interview with President Zuma in his home state at Nkandla. What an interview under those circumstances. I think she nailed it. She made it a show, and it was worth watching her doing her best. Thanks, Ray.
Morning, Ray. Charlotte in Roodepoort. Some of us are only able to listen in the morning and the afternoon because of work commitments. But I think every time Cidi was chatted to on the breakfast show, she was always on point. I mean, she played a critical role in the US delegation Oval Office discussion. And every time there is a critical political issue that wants in-depth analysis, I think I will miss Cidi Madia's view on that matter. It's really shocking and sad that she had to go at this time, at the prime of her life. But may her soul rest in peace, and we will forever remember her in the politicking of this country and beyond. Thank you.
Morning. It's not often I really care or take note of people in the public eye, public arena passing away. We don't know these people, and it seems false to feel any sort of way about someone dying that you've never met before. But Cidi was, she was 1 in a million. She was really, really, really adept at what she did, and we're going to miss her insights. She was brilliant. It's almost as if she could tell the future, the political future. She just knew stuff that nobody else knew. We were very lucky to have her, and it's a huge, huge loss to our country and our democracy that she's gone so young. So rest in peace, Cidi. Cole, Joburg.
Thank you, Cole, and thank you everyone for your WhatsApp voice notes this morning. I like that quote, what has been borrowed has been taken away. That's the only thing, is because you think of a talent like that, the other stories that could have been done, a career that was cut short. She was just 42 years old, and I think that's what irks most of us. But this morning, celebrating the life of Cidi Madia and celebrating those stories, and everybody talking about that US story. And I thought that US story was great. The fact that she went over there and she said, no. Take your fake news and park it somewhere else. I will never, ever forget that. Well done, Cidi Madia.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question? Brought to you by OutSurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rands in cash. First 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little bit later on 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Right, so we need an answer. Let's go to David in Mooikloof. Hi, David. Good morning. What then is your answer?
Good morning. The answer is 60.
60. Okay. And have you got a quote with OutSurance, or are you a member of OutSurance?
Yes, sir. I am a member.
Fantastic. You won 1,000 Rands in cash. Nicely done. All right. There we go. So the answer this morning, thank you, David, is 60. What then is the question? 011-883-0702. I'll take the fifth caller this morning.
EWN Sport.
So, Cindy, if I wanted to buy a Grimsby soccer shirt, Where would I get one?
In Grimsby. I'm sure there's a lot.
Where is Grimsby?
I have no idea. I'll have to look on a map for you.
Yeah, on a Google map it now. Now, why are we talking about Grimsby?
Well, because another disastrous night for Manchester United. They were knocked out of the League Cup by fourth-tier side Grimsby Town. United were 2-0 down in the opening half before Mbuemo scored in the 75th and Maguire with the equaliser in the 89th to force a penalty shootout. Grimsby won the shootout 12-11. United boss Ruben Amorim is out of reasons as to why his team is doing so badly.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked because we are in the moment that we make a lot of changes. We try to fight a lot of things, but then when we have these moments, we need to show up. If we don't show up, you can feel it that something has to change, and you are not going to change 22 players again.
But I mean, what do they do? I mean, we have this discussion at least once every 2 weeks.
Ray, I think if you knew, you would be in Manchester right now as a consultant. If
Where's
you could
Alex
fix
Ferguson?
It, right?
Where is he? Just
he's around. He's
Is he?
around. Yeah. In other results, Fulham beat Bristol City 2-0. Brighton thrashed Oxford 6-0. Everton got a 2-0 win over Mansfield. Back home, defending champions Sundowns were held to a goalless draw by unbeaten Kaizer Chiefs. Sundowns coach Miguel Cardozo.
I didn't see the stats of the game. I think it's just you saying that they had better chance or more chances. I have to see the game. I think both teams had chances, both teams had moments. Probably in the first half we had more control of the game. In second half the game was more divided. As I said, it's not the game we like to play. We like to have a controlled game always, so that we can build the game the way we want to play it.
The result puts Chiefs second on the table, just behind Sekhukhune on goal difference after Sekhukhune finished 1-1 with AmaZulu. They came from a goal down. Marman with the equaliser in the 84th minute. Golden Arrows beat Magesi 2-1. At the US Open Tennis, South African Lloyd Harris was knocked out in the second round by the fourth seed Taylor Fritz. Fritz came from a set down to win the match. Here's Harris.
I felt pretty confident going in. I feel like obviously he is extremely high rank compared to me. You know, I did feel like I could definitely cause him some concern, some trouble, and felt like at some point even had a little edge on him. It's a shame I couldn't keep that up, but he's a top player and he played a consistent level throughout the whole way, and that's what the best players does.
Through to the next round went Alcaraz, Shelton and Djokovic. Going out was Ruud and Rune. No problem for the women's top seeds either. Easy down court for Andreeva, Pagula, Sabalenka, Rybakina, Raducanu and Paulini. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
There's a song that goes, "Money can't buy me love." And that's true. But then they told us all you need is love, which anybody with a mortgage will tell you most certainly is not true. Love won't pay your parking tickets or your student loan. It's also needy. It requires effort, availability, constant care. But more importantly, love requires time. And while money can't buy you love, it can certainly free up some of your time. Time to spend on the things you love, with the people you love. And if you're looking, maybe even time to find the one you love. That's why, after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do the things you love. And don't you love that about investing? Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
When captains of industry gather to discover how AI and other exponential technologies can future-proof their organizations, they'll find out what matters most at the Stellenbosch Business Institute C-Leaders Summit. Global thought leader Dr. Vivian Ming will challenge you on what it means to lead in an automated world by unlocking the full power of human intelligence in the age of AI. Join her and others thought leaders by visiting sbinstitute.co.za to book your seat at the Stellenbosch Business Institute C-Leaders Summit. It's 2 October at the Forum in Bryanston. Stellenbosch Business Institute, beyond a business school.
Looking for the perfect place to book your next local holiday? Lekker has you covered with over 30,000 stays across South Africa. From luxury hotels, resorts and lodges to cozy self-catering homes, B&Bs and guest houses, Lekker has something for every taste and budget. Whether it's a quick getaway or an extended holiday, visit Lekker today and easily book your dream getaway on South Africa's leading accommodation app.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
EWN Traffic.
It's fast approaching 12 minutes to 8 o'clock. This EWN traffic brought to you by Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. More the traffic.
Well, Ray, that accident we spoke about earlier along the Magwa North right near the Crown Interchange has been cleared, but traffic remains heavily backed up coming out of Boyson's Road towards Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N17 West. This is in the Boksburg area. Bumper to bumper traffic there. It's in fact a parking lot between Carnival City and Rondebold Road. That's due to long major roadworks taking place along this route. And traveling in Roy Hiskrel, we've got an accident on Old Johannesburg Road. It is between the N1 and the N14 exits, and it's causing heavy delays within the area. So please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blider River Canyon, the third largest in the world, I must tell you. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown, live the adventure. This message is brought to you, of course, by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. Up for grabs now, 2,000 rands in cash. I gave you, or David actually gave you, the answer a little bit earlier on. David said 60. So what then is the question? Let's find out for 2,000 rand, courtesy of Outsurance. Valerie and Benoni, I said I'd take the fifth caller. That would be you. If I said to you 60, what then is the question?
I would say, how old is Shania Twain today?
Ah, fantastic. And are you a member of Outsurance?
We've been with them for 20 years plus.
20 years plus. I think that earns you 2,000 rands in cash. Well done, Valerie. Nice. Nah, you're welcome. Nicely done. 2,000 rands in cash going to Valerie. Today we celebrate the birthday of Eileen Regina Shania Twain. Born on this day in 1965, the Canadian singer-songwriter who redefined country music with over 100 million records sold. She holds the title of the best-selling female artist in country music history. There we go. She's known as the Queen of Country Pop.
Do you feel what I feel inside? You know our love is stronger than pride.
Phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
Hollywood Bet Aziz Shege. Be in the Game is back for the new soccer season. Up for grabs is a share of 4 million rand in prizes, including the Toyota Rumion, Corolla Cross, Hilux 2.4 GD6 DC, and a Starlet Cross. To qualify, bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures for your chance to score big. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late night shifts, for the last minute orders and the beginning of the month rush. For the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
7 minutes to 8 o'clock. And Kabazela, if you go onto X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you go, there's one story that's gone viral, isn't there?
Yeah, good morning to you, Ray, and good morning to our 702 family. And yeah, I mean, you look on X, all over social media platforms, and you can see the outpouring of love and memories of Cidi Madiso and the impact that she had in the world of journalism and in politics. And I also just want to send condolences to her family, her friends, and her nearest and dearest, who must be, obviously absolutely devastated, like many of us are. And, I think, if I think about what's happened and looking ahead, she's gone, but she will live on. And when I say she'll live on, whenever there's a political story that happens, when there's a controversy that happens, most of us will sit and think, Cidi, what would she have said? What would she have made of this? What analysis would she have given? So she will always be with us from now and forevermore, Ray, when it comes to political stories. And what an individual she was. I mean, hard worker. That's what I remember. Hard worker. And tough, thick skin as well. I mean, sitting there in front of politicians, in front of world leaders, and commenting and holding her own and not being intimidated, just shows you the courage that she has and had. So there's been many moments in her career that have stood out, things that she has said, questions that she has asked, and we can't play all of them, but I wanted to play this one particular clip where she had come back from the US and then addressed the 702 family on her Politricking podcast, which was so popular. So let's take a listen to this clip, and then we'll chat thereafter.
I know you want me to tell you about the US. I know you want me to tell you about that bizarre interview that I had with Newsnight. I was irritated. I was bored because some things about the South African experience should not be explained. Some things are actually so easy to see. If you're looking for them, you'll see them. If you open your eyes to see, you'll see them. And I got the feeling that there are some pockets of the US that are not willing to see, no matter what you do, to shine a light on South Africa's truth. So that interview that went viral, yes, I just went viral. That interview that went viral was about that, from my understanding. And I keep saying to people, I don't think I said anything out of the ordinary. Like, it wasn't like, oh, no, I would normally. Those are very normal sentiments for me. But I think in this context, why I think it matters, I'm trying to still process it, is because I said what people wanted to say. Does that make sense? Like, people were irritated watching the ongoings in the White House, in the Oval Office. That's diplomacy at play. That's trying to protect an economy at play. I don't have that baggage. So I can just tell you what I understand about South Africa, and that's what I sought to do. So for all the love, all the praises, all the being labeled a patriot is nice. I like that. I take that ownership. I take ownership of that. So thank you so much.
But that was the thing, Kabazela. It was like just telling the truth. And she didn't get upset. She didn't lash back. And that presenter at the time was gunning. He was going. And she was like, no, you need to take it in the South African context. No, this is it.
But I think for me, Ray, what I take away from that is, journalists are very, very special people. They don't get into politics and reporting for any fame or glory. They get into it because they love the job. They love to tell the stories. They love to report. And, often when we see well-known people that have passed, we'll say, well, we wish they got their flowers whilst they were alive. And I think, Cidi was just doing her job. She didn't go to the US and the Oval Office to get, praise or anything like that. But I think the fact that when she came back, there was this, this outpouring of love, and warmth to her. I think that was a beautiful moment for her to take in, to say, well, it matters at the end of the day. And she was at the top of her game. She was going places. I mean, the confidence that she had presenting and standing in was really special to see. So rest in peace, Cidi, and we will all miss you.
Thank you, Kapazela. That's what's trending this morning.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland with smart tech and striking design. It's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Well, there was a parking lot you were telling us about Carnival City outside.
Yes, and that's on the N17 West between Carnival City and the R21 Rondebolt Road, and that's due to roadworks taking place along this route, causing about a 20-minute hold-up. There's also queuing traffic on the Mark 1 South between Santon, Greyston Drive and Call It Drive. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seats, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland. 702. Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa, you've had a very busy morning this morning, and it's a difficult day for 702. Difficult day for producers as well.
Absolutely.
What has 702 Land been saying?
Oh, Ray, those tributes are continuing to pour in for Cidi Madia. Heartfelt tributes from all the listeners. She impacted each and every one of us in a very special way, Ray, including those who worked with her. Very somber mood behind the scenes. And also listeners are saddened by her loss. They will miss her reporting, the way she grilled each and every politician, the way she handled each and every interview. Just a sad morning, Ray. We don't know what to say. It is difficult. It is difficult, Ray.
Well, celebrating her life this morning. I've been celebrating it because I think Cidi Madia, absolutely phenomenal and a giant in what she did and what she achieved. And I worked with her from when she started, and I witnessed news the whole way through. She left for a bit, she came back. But wow, when she came back with a vengeance. Absolutely. And that was beautiful to work with her. So we're just going to leave it there this morning. There we go. Thank you, Ropi Wakone.
This is EWN.
Politicians hail Cidi Madia for being an esteemed political reporter.
I've got to ask you questions. You wouldn't bear a grudge with Cidi because she will give you a fair chance.
And South Africa is on course to improving relations with the US. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Political parties have paid tribute to EWN's Politics Associate Editor Cidi Madia, saying her passing leaves a void in South African journalism. Madia died in hospital yesterday at the age of 42 after a short illness. Deputy President Paul Mashatile described Madia as the darling of the media, a journalist who blended professional rigor with a profound human touch. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula has remembered Cidi as someone who did not pull any punches.
It's not a kind of person you'll go to her, to a show, and then you'll choose issues. No. I've got to ask you questions. You wouldn't bear a grudge with Cidi because she will give you a fair chance, but she wouldn't. There's no question she wouldn't ask you.
Mongezi Koko has more on the political reaction.
Action SA says Madia carried herself with kindness and grace, earning the respect of colleagues and leaders alike. Razum Zanzi remembered her as a no-nonsense, fierce and unbiased practitioner. Spokesperson Mabine Siabe.
An unbiased practitioner who plied her trade with passion, love and accuracy.
accuracy. Her warm yet direct way of interrogating politicians and other public figures will be sorely missed.
The DA says her fearless reporting and incisive questioning of power will be remembered with respect, and the African Congress for Transformation called her a hero of journalism who held power to account and gave a voice to the voiceless. Madia's passing marks the loss of one of South Africa's most prominent political journalists, a reporter whose legacy lies in her tenacity, her fairness, and her ability to make complex politics accessible. Monke Ziko Go, Eyewitness News.
Former Johannesburg City Manager Floyd Brink is topping the latest round of interviews for the same position he was once dismissed from. Brink, who was removed in December by the Gauteng High Court over his irregular appointment, is once again in the running for the post. 8 candidates have been interviewed by a selection panel, with Brink coming out on top with the highest rating. The city manager is the highest-ranking administrative official in the metro, responsible for overseeing the overall functioning of the municipality. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Eyewitness News has obtained a score sheet reflecting the performance of 8 candidates interviewed for the post of Johannesburg City Manager. Among the contenders is former Johannesburg Property Company CEO Helen Botha, a controversial figure who, according to the SIU, caused harm to the entity through what it described as gross negligence. However, the selection panel appears to favor former city manager Floyd Brink, who currently tops the rankings despite having previously been removed from the role. Brink secured an 81% score from the 5-member panel, which is the highest rating among all 8 candidates. Given his high rating, Brink is likely to be reappointed as Johannesburg city manager. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says a decision is imminent on appointing an ambassador to the United States. Despite the President's special envoy Mcebisi Jonas not having traveled to the US, Lamola says it's not a permanent job and there is no intention to replace him. At a briefing yesterday, Lamola said despite months of tensions with the US government, there are still regular interactions between government officials. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Minister Ronald Lamola says government is still actively working on trying to reduce hefty trade tariffs introduced by the United States. While he has not confirmed that the President's trade envoy, Mcebisi Jonas, has been denied entry to the US, Lamola says Jonas continues to do the work required of him.
It's correct, he has not been to the US at this stage, but he has been doing some work. He has also engaged with various stakeholders on the approach and also on the issues in the background.
Lamola says an ambassadorial appointment is also not far off. This follows the abrupt expulsion of former Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool in March, who was forced to leave the United States within days after comments he made during a webinar.
What we are currently considering, and almost at an advanced stage, is the appointment of a permanent ambassador.
Lamola says a U.S. Congressional Foreign Affairs delegation will be visiting the country this week. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,343.55 an ounce. The rand is at 17.67 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.50 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N17 West between Carnival City entrance and the R21 Rondebolt Road due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic along the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange.
And in your sports, Sundowns fans questioning Coach Cardozo's future at the club after their goalless game with Kaizer Chiefs last night. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim says his players are showing their true colours. They were knocked out of the League Cup by fourth-tier side Grimsby. And the Springboks touchdown in New Zealand. The All Blacks welcome back a key player for next week's clash.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Political parties have paid tribute to EWN's politics associate editor Cidi Madia, saying her passing leaves a void in South African journalism.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And on DSTV channel 856.
It's fast approaching 8 minutes past 8 o'clock. Good morning from me, Ray White, in for Bongles this morning. And during Eyewitness News, I was looking at our YouTube feed and so many comments coming through. Thank you, everyone. I mean, that's been an outpouring of emotion this morning, an outpouring of grief. We've been celebrating the life of Cidi Madia this morning, and so please keep your messages coming. It's a difficult day for 702 Land. It's a difficult day for colleagues, for you as well. And I remember, Mateo, just the other day, driving and listening to Cidi doing Clement's show. And Floyd Shivambu, of course, has launched his new party. This was a Monday morning. So, of course, Cidi says, yeah, it was Sunday yesterday. And I was a little bit bored, so I just went to the Joburg CBD to go see Floyd and his party. And that's exactly that. That's what Cidi did. She was so locked into doing politics, so locked into doing what she was doing. To her, it wasn't work. It was like, I think I'll go see Floyd, what he's doing today.
You see, after all those visits with those key people, I'd always pick her brain because I want to hear the inside story, you know. I remember she told me stories of meeting the Pirates chairman, Ivan Khoza, and of course, I'm a Pirates fan. I want to know what the man is like when he's not working, you know. And he was just like, he's so gentle. I'm like, no, that's the Iron Duke. What are you talking about? That's our chairman. He's tough. And he's like, no, he's, you know, a real human being and a really kind guy. And I really like to hear those behind the scenes stories from her, you know. And Cidi was one of those people that would sit with you and just discuss anything. And one lovely thing about her, especially at that point in her career, you'd think she knows everything, but she was always willing to ask a question if she didn't know anything. Yes, that's her job. Yeah. But if you are an expert on a subject, you expect someone to just say, I'll do the research myself. But she did the legwork of, no, Alpha, you went on this story for a week. Let's find out from you, you know, what you think. Or Muteo, I'm going to the US. Let's talk tariffs. I don't know much about what's going on the business side of things. She was always willing to take time to listen, man. And she always loved her swimming as well.
She did. She did indeed. She did indeed. Right, what we're going to be doing is listening to some of your tributes this morning. And then also coming up shortly, I want to chat to Alpha Ramushwana, because there's somebody whose political reporting career is climbing and climbing. And it all started with Cidi Madia.
I don't know Cidi personally. I've never met her. She doesn't know me. I just know her by listening to her on the radio. She's just got that voice. She's just got that presence that lights up a room. You can't help but fall in love with her. I never knew that I would be so emotional for someone that I don't even know. She's really going to be missed.
Morning. 702 Landers. Indeed, you are poorer without Cidi. As I'm talking now, I can hear a voice asking Mr. Malema. And she'll be like, Mr. Malema, Mr. Malema. And then she continue. We lost a foot soldier for news and updates. May her soul rest in peace. Thank you for all the work you've done. Thank you for all the updates you gave us, Cidi. Heaven have gained another angel. Rest in peace.
Good morning, 702 Ray and your team there. I will remember Cidi. What a lovely soul. It's Zugile here, by the way, in Kempton Park, Beshley. I think she was coming from overseas work. It was a day or two and she was in the studio. The caller who sent a voice note or who called said, no, Cidi, you need to take rest. You can't be here at work. You just landed and then you are here at work. And it touched me because to me it showed that she loved what she was doing. Thank you.
Good morning, Ray and your team. Flores here from the Western Cape. Yeah, first and foremost, condolences to the journalistic fraternity, the Madia family. And yeah, I also spare thought for Bongani, who had so many interactions with her. So Bongani, there in Italy, yeah, I think of you, my brother. Stay strong, come back, take the baton from Cidi and continue, guys, with all your hard work. Yeah, we sometimes, as public, love to hate you as journalists, but in this case, may your soul rest in peace. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for your WhatsApps this morning, because she has left a legacy behind her. And I had the privilege of working with Eyewitness News and watching what was going on in the newsroom. Joining us is Alpha Ramoshwana. Good morning, Alpha. Good to have you on the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Ray. It's a pity that we get to speak under such circumstances.
Yeah, I really do agree with you, because it's not something we saw coming. It's something that's left us totally shocked. I had to sit down yesterday when I heard the news, and that was it. I just had to sit just for a while, just to sit. Now, Alpha, you at Eyewitness News, and I watched you come in, I think as an intern a long time ago, and you then, Cidi took you under her wing, and she taught you all sorts of things. I saw you grow, and I've seen you grow, and I continue to hear you now thunder on our airwaves when it comes to political reporting. Take us through the journey with Cidi, because it's been quite a journey.
You know, Ray, I was 20 years old when I walked into the newsroom in 2022, and I was interning at Eyewitness News. And when I started there, Cidi had been on leave for, I think, about 3 weeks. And one of the first stories that I covered as an intern was the mess in the city of Johannesburg, the coalition chaos. At the time, the DA was being removed from power and the ANC was coming in. So there was a lot of changes in the administration in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And I covered the council chaos. And when she came back on leave, the first thing Cidi said to me, and I hadn't met her at the time, the first thing she said to me was that, I've been hearing you on radio covering the politics in Johannesburg, and I want you to work with me. And little did I know that would be the beginning of my career as a political reporter. I have shared so many special moments with her over the past 3 years. Certainly played a very massive role in shaping my career and my work as a reporter. In December 2022 as well, you'd remember that we had the ANC's elective conference where Cyril Ramaphosa was re-elected as the president of the ANC.
Yeah.
And I was still an intern at the time, and Cidi said she wanted me to be part of the team that would cover the conference. And a lot of people did not understand her logic and her reasoning behind it, because I was really young at the time. I had just come out of university. In fact, I was still in university and I was interning. But she was so adamant that I needed to be there just so that I know what to do come 2027 when we go to the next ANC elective conference. And I went to cover the conference alongside my colleague Tabi Sokoba and Tlantla Mabaso, a number of our other colleagues. And she kept on saying to me, I know you don't understand why I brought you to such a big story as a young journalist, but one day you will understand. And I finally understand, where her mind was at the time.
Yeah, Alpha, we understand because we hear you. We hear you on the radio, and I think what your journey with Cidi has been quite something. It's been quite a remarkable journey. Final question to you: what's the one thing that you learned from her?
Cidi would always say to me that she has done a lot in her career, and one thing she wants to focus on now is shaping the next generation of journalists. It was something she would say all the time, that as a senior in a newsroom, you need to think about a succession plan. once you're gone, who takes over? You need to make sure that the industry and the profession is in safe hands. And as a young journalist, as a young reporter who's still trying to find his feet in the industry, I think moving forward, one thing I will always carry with me is thinking about the future generations, the next generation of journalists, thinking what I can do to make, the profession better for those who are to come in the next few years. It's something that she always spoke about, and that's the reason she said to me that she wanted Thabiso and I in her team. She wanted to make sure that the industry is in safe hands.
Sure. Alpha Ramoshwana, Eyewitness News reporter. I think, if anything I can say about Cidi Madia, when it comes to our politics departments and reporters being in safe hands, I think I can just say one thing: mission accomplished.
EWN Traffic.
Right, Amor, Carnival City, M1. The hits just keep on coming this morning.
Well, Ray, the Carnival City incident is due to those roadworks that are taking place along the N17 West, and the delays are, as you state, between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road due to those roadworks. About a 20-minute hold up there. Well, troubling in Rohiskrol, we still have got that accident on Old Johannesburg Road right after the N1. It is causing delays heading towards Centurion. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between Allendale Road and the Baklu interchange. I'll have more details and reports coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Live extra at Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket, and save on Knox Sparkling Hydration Drink 500 mils, any 2 for 28 Rand. Domestos Power Foam 450 mils for 46.99, and Ina Parman's product range. Buy any 3 and save 20%. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? Introducing a new continuous glucose monitoring system from Abbott Laboratories. The Freestyle Libre 2 system sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms, and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy your Freestyle Libre 2 sensor, visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
21 minutes past 8 o'clock. From retirement realities to workplace reform, we're in conversation with Old Mutual Corporate discussing ways to move South Africa's workforce forward. And South Africa's two-part retirement system introduced last year has unveiled critical insights into member behavior and financial stress. These findings were a central focus at the recent Old Mutual Thought Leadership Forum, where experts from business policy and academia came together to translate research into actionable strategies to strengthen retirement security. So, according to Michelle Acton, Chief Customer Officer at Old Mutual Corporate and facilitator of a panel of experts discussing this change, these insights highlight the urgent need for employers to rethink how they support employees through benefits and education in an ever-evolving work landscape. We're speaking to her now on how to understand what behavioral lessons emerge from the two-part system and how these should influence the future design of retirement and well-being benefits. Michelle Acton, Chief Customer Officer at Old Mutual Corporate, good to have you with us this morning. So many questions to talk about. Okay, so what are the three major learnings from the implementation of the two-part retirement system? This is important.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we're almost a year from when we implemented it. And we could write a whole textbook, basically, on what we've learned over the last year. But I think just taking three key points. The first is retirement literacy is critical. We went around trying to explain via advertising campaigns, member communication around what's changing. And we realized how few people understood how it worked in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's a complete lack of understanding of the importance around retirement funding. I think the second learning is people are financially stressed, and it's across all income levels. So we saw that with when people came to claim as soon as they could, there was a dive in. But we also saw that as soon as the new tax year started, 1st of March, people didn't even look at how much they had in their fund. They just went to claim because they knew they could. So I think it's just a clear indication across all income. We've had very high income level people come in and claim, even though they're paying 45% tax. And I think the last one is retirement funds. It impacts all of us. Every single South African earning an income should be having some sort of retirement funding.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really good foundation in which to try and build around communication and awareness.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, here's another one. So how is the two-part system changing members' then engagement with their retirement savings and preservation? It's their behavior. How's it changing their behavior?
So I think a big shift has been from this apathy we've experienced. So people are a member of a fund, they don't look, they don't worry, they don't check, to now I need to see how much is in my pot, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen a significant increase in member contact details where it enables us to communicate with them. We've seen huge amounts of activity where people are finally personalizing it. It's now my fund, no longer my employer's fund or something else. And so with people going in to have a look, how much have they got a fund, how it works, we've seen actually that engagement improves because it makes people more aware and want to learn more about the system.
Okay, all right. So what role do employers play in supporting employees' financial literacy, well-being, fostering more sustainable savings habits? It's the role of employers.
I think it's a massive role. If one thing we've seen when we look at employees and members and look at how much they've got saved and their level of financial literacy, that we see, depending on how the employer structures their benefit structures, their defaults, and also how much they invest their employee value proposition into financial wellness and education. The more employers invest, we see the better outcomes are for members. So they are very, very well positioned. In fact, a recent survey we did with members, they're actually asking employers for help and support. Good. They want to save, but they need that support. And so employers are very well positioned to play that role.
Been great chatting to you this morning, Michelle Acton, Chief Customer Officer at Old Mutual Corporate. Thank you for coming in to the 702 studio. South Africa's retirement system remains under pressure, but there's real opportunity for change. The second Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, held recently, brought together decision makers, policy makers, and business influencers to continue the vital conversation on building a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable retirement system within a changing world of work. The focus: bold, practical solutions employers can implement today to improve outcomes for tomorrow. So visit oldmutual.co.za/Thought Leaders Forum to learn more and download the latest Mindspace publication.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Good morning, Adam. Good to chat to you once again.
Hi, Ray.
Really good to chat to you. Right, this Danish anger over America's interest in Greenland, is it ever really going to end? Because Donald Trump wants Greenland and, well, they can't have it.
Yeah, he has said several times he wants to annex Greenland. Denmark's foreign minister has now summoned an American diplomat in Copenhagen, not because it's words, but because there are actions, allegedly. A report in Denmark that Americans have been conducting covert operations in Greenland, as the public broadcaster in Denmark put it. Americans aiming to infiltrate Greenland society to push for its secession to the United States. So the foreign minister in Copenhagen, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, says it's totally unacceptable. But you know what? You just can't go around annexing other people's territories or countries, can you? Let's ask Vladimir Putin. mate of Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's that whole Ukraine thing. Yeah, it's all about that, isn't there? All right, from one strange story to another. Big question marks against this private zoo in India. What's that all about?
Owned by Mukesh Ambani, Asia's richest man, a multi-billionaire in any currency you like, India's Supreme Court has ordered an inquiry into allegations that animals have been acquired unlawfully and are being mistreated. We don't know for sure, but the zoo at Vantara has about 200 elephants, 300 lions, tigers, and leopards, 1,200 reptiles, and many more animals. There's no obvious evidence of mistreatment, but there are plenty of rumors. So that's why the investigation. The thing is, Vantara Zoo has been opened and endorsed by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but it's not open to the public. It's all behind closed doors.
Aye.
So no one really knows what is what. It's very Pablo Escobar meets James Bond villain somehow, isn't it?
It really is, I can see it in my mind right now. All right, a posthumous TV quiz victory.
If you know The Chase on TV, the UK
Yes.
quiz show The Chase, where you battle questions against time individually and then as a team at the end to try to defeat a professional quizzer. So Tim McCarthy was on The Chase here in the UK last night. It may well, I would think, air in South Africa at some point. He fulfilled his ambition. He always wanted to be on The Chase. He loved it. He's an ex-teacher. But what had happened was he was on the show when it was filmed last October, but he died in July, a month before it was aired.
Sure.
So nobody knew that he was terminally ill at the time that the show was recorded. But last night, friends and family gathered in a pub to watch The Chase on TV to cheer him as he won £100,000, £2.5 million, shared between him and his fellow chaser, as it were. So he fulfilled his ambition, albeit with a sad aftertaste.
Oh, that is so sad. That's so very sad. All right, Adam, we'll have to leave it there. It's a sad morning this morning. That's Adam Gilchrist and The Worldview.
EWN Business.
Right, Matteo Kharipe, Bitcorp posting an increase in profits of 12.9 billion rand. They're celebrating this morning.
Yeah, the international food service business Bidcorp reporting an increase in profit to 12.9 billion rand. The food group says the headline earnings per share at the company rose to 9.6%, reflecting a strong operational performance. The company has also declared a final cash dividend of 6.2% for its shareholders. Bidcorp's revenues largely generated outside of South Africa, with 94% of revenue coming from its international markets like Australia, the EU and China. And China is where the business really faltered during the reporting period. Business there not going as well, spooking shareholders yesterday with the company's share down 4%.
And then, of course, Curo in the news for all sorts of reasons at the moment.
Yeah, there were big news around Curo and that bid, but the company did release results yesterday. Private education company Curo Holdings reporting flat earnings for the 6 months to end June, despite a 4.7% increase in revenue, this to 2.7 billion rand. Curo's learner numbers were also down during the first 6 months of 2025, recording a 1.4% drop in learner numbers. A 74 million rand impairment also dealt a big blow to the company's bottom line. Now, earnings remained flat despite revenue growth, but the company has more things to worry about than just disappointing results. There's a big 7.2 billion rand bid that's come through from the Yanni Morton Foundation. The dealers valued at over 7 billion, with Curo's shares jumping more than 50% on that news. The main thing that's envisioned here by the Yanni Morton Foundation is that they'll take over Curo, move it from being a private company to being a non-profit. They'll use the money from the fees to create bursaries and build more private schools in areas especially that are not getting the best access to education. So really, really a good move, and let's see whether the shareholders there will agree.
Yeah, kudos to them. Let's see what happens with that. Right, how's the rand doing this morning?
17 rand 67 against the US dollar. It's still in a good spot now at 20 rand 57 cents against the euro and 23 rand 83 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at 3,000 $8,390 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,349. Brent crude at $66.89 a barrel. That's your business for this morning. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Thanks, Mateo. 8:32 is the time, and we were chatting to Alpha Ramushwana just a short while ago on the show about the passing of Cidi Madia, and of course, Sifiso Zulu, that's exactly what she'll be remembered for, mentoring youngsters.
That's right, Ray. EWN's Politics Associate Editor Cidi Madia will be, of course, remembered for that, for mentoring and teaching young journalists. Madia was passionate about assisting reporters who came after her in the media industry. She passed away in hospital yesterday at the age of 42 following a short illness and stay in hospital. EWN reporter Alpha Ramushwana says he's a better journalist today because of Cidi's mentorship.
And one of the first stories that I covered as an intern was the mess in the city of Johannesburg, the coalition chaos. At the time, the DA was being removed from power and the ANC was coming in. So there was a lot of changes in the administration in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And I covered the council chaos. And when she came back on leave, the first thing Cidi said to me, and I hadn't met her at the time, the first thing she said to me was that, I've been hearing you on the radio covering the politics in Johannesburg, and I want you to work with me. And little did I know that that would be the beginning of my career as a political reporter.
Meanwhile, former EWN editor-in-chief Sbu Alwa says Cidi played an important role in South Africa's media landscape.
When I arrived at EWN, and Cidi was the senior politics reporter, and I appointed her as politics editor, associate editor for politics. And I was clear to her with my mandate. I said, Cidi, you are the Messi to my Barcelona. You are going to lift our political coverage. We'll build the political coverage around you, and you will take EWN to the next level. And that's a role, Ray, she carried with great aplomb.
Joburg residents can breathe a sigh of relief as the city's water utility has completed maintenance work at the Crosby pump station in an effort to improve supply. Areas including Westbury, Westdean, Coronationville and Claremont had to contend with dry taps last night during repair work. Joburg Water spokesperson Nombuso Shabalala has outlined that high-lying areas will be the last to be restored today.
Johannesburg Water remains consistent with ongoing efforts to ensure reliable and long-term water supply through the upgrading of existing infrastructure and the provision of new water infrastructure for additional capacity to support higher density areas.
The KwaZulu-Natal Transport Department says it's reached out to its provincial e-hailing council to restore calm following the shooting of e-hailing drivers. The two drivers were wounded after they were allegedly assaulted by taxi operators in the north of Durban. One other e-hailing vehicle was also shot during the attack. Transport MEC Siboniso Duma says the department will be working with KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to restore stability and locate the perpetrators. The MEC spokesperson Ndabezinhle Sibia.
In addition, the MEC has mandated the provincial regulatory entity, Operation Shanela, to work with other law enforcement officers in order to avoid the repeat of what we witnessed in Maponya Mall. According to the MEC, the Tabega shooting will unfortunately reopen healing wounds of relatives of the late e-hailing driver, Mthokozi Simvelase.
And Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says he has requested a briefing with National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola in relation to ongoing gang violence in the Western Cape. Kachalia addressed police top brass and dignitaries from across Africa and abroad at the opening day of the Interpol African Regional Conference yesterday. The event, which is being held over the next 3 days, comes as gang violence in Cape Town continues to claim the lives of gang members and innocent residents almost daily. Carlo Peterson reports.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says he was called to take action after the Muslim Judicial Council and Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba contacted him to raise concerns about escalating gang violence in Cape Town. Kachalia says he has since requested a briefing from National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola about what the SAPS is doing to curb gang violence in the Western Cape.
So that I understand what SAPS is doing and where the gaps might be. Then I'm going to engage with the religious leaders who've taken the initiative to talk with me on Monday, hopefully.
Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
In the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. This is between Allendale Road and the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic. In fact, this is between Modderfontein Road and Marlborough Drive, and that's due to an accident.
The top story this hour: EWN's Politics Associate Editor Cidi Madia will be remembered for mentoring and teaching young journalists.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
The whole world is talking about it. They're talking about the love story. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Why are we all so in our feelings about the fact that Taylor and Travis are engaged? I think this is a pretty solid relationship.
But I'm happy to see her also happy. You can just see that, just genuinely happy. She seems like a level-headed girl. I'm rooting for her, honestly.
Mbuyiselo Bilekazi, entertainment commentator.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
It's the clarion call for the 26th Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Choose your days carefully, because this time we're going all out as the heavyweight jazz at Lincoln Center, and Wynton Marsalis make a triumphant return to the Sandton Convention Center on the 26th and the 28th of September 2025, alongside the already star-studded lineup of over 60 world-class acts across 4 stages. On second thoughts, we recommend you buy yourself all 3 days via Ticketmaster. Take me there.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 kg Tastic long grain, parboiled, brown or soft absorbing rice assorted for $34.99. Save 10 Rand with Spar Rewards, or 2 litre Spar sunflower or canola oil for $69.99 with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open, for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TymeBank to offer funding to your business.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Morning, Ray. We have lost a giant. Cidi was a giant. She had a way of asking the right and relevant questions. The questions that most people are afraid to ask. May her soul rest in peace. That's from Vusi Henry Mavimbela, from Jablan in Soweto.
Good morning, 702 lenders. Look, what a sad moment indeed. Cidi was a world-class reporter. Definitely will be missed. I remember her interview with Jacob Zuma as well. Actually, there's a whole lot of moments, but one classy interview, that's when she took on that reporter from the news after the Oval shenanigans that happens when the Ramaphosa and the team were in the USA. I think she stood her ground, brilliant, never afraid to question. She will definitely be missed by everyone that listens to 72 and that's interested in politics. Thank you.
Oh, my heart broke so much when I heard about Cidi yesterday. Oh, what a trailblazer. Oh, what a woman. Oh, what a woman. She was great at her job. She was excellent. She was exceptional. And we are so privileged to have known her in our time. Condolences to the Madia family, condolences to the Prime Media family, Oh, Clement. Oh, Bongani Bingwa. Condolences, guys.
You see, that's the thing. It's those who you leave behind, and yeah, it's a bit of a solemn day today at Prime Media Broadcasting in 702. But like I did say before, we are celebrating the life of Cidi Madia. So celebrating her life, thinking about all the good moments, and I can promise you, like if you were sitting where I'm sitting at the moment, and just over my right shoulder, I can look up, and there's Eyewitness News, and if I look there now, I can see any one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who've been touched by the life of Cidi Madia, and their careers really flourished. So there we go. Her legacy does live on.
EWN Sport.
Rhea, I just wanted to use the opportunity to speak about Cidi as well, because I haven't been asked. But I met Cidi, it must have been 2007 or 2008. That's when we first started to work together here. She left for a period and she did come back. So her work here extends years and years and years and years, right? And I remember that she would always come in if she was filling in for Clement, etc., at this time in the morning, or if I would see her in the parking lot, sometimes she'd be arriving for work and I'd be leaving, and she would say, I love what you said at whatever time about whatever. So, I mean, as some of the listeners know, I do have my own podcast about teenagers. It's called Teen Junction, and it's on mental health and wellness. And we would discuss our podcasts because I think we are two of the people in Prime Media who primarily have our own podcasts. And she would always say, I loved what you said about, there was one interview you did with Helen Ziller, Ray, where she spoke about teen pregnancy, and then I weighed in on it on air, and Cidi came in and said, I want to carry that forward today on Clement's show. How do you feel? What do you think it is? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? She always, she wasn't afraid to say that she didn't know everything about a topic, and she liked to hear from different people about a topic. But she, as professional as she was, she did break protocol once.
Yeah, tell me.
And at the time we were like, what? But you can't blame her. 2023, the Springboks had won the Rugby World Cup, and they were coming to celebrate at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. And EWN only got 2 accreditations.
Oh.
And Cidi Madia pulled her rank with all her, as you've heard from all the beautiful government people that have come through today and spoke wonders about her. She pulled rank and she got herself into the Union Buildings, closer than any of the EWN sport people could have got.
Word.
Caused a bit of a hoo-ha at the entrance because our EWN sport person couldn't get in.
Yes.
Because now there were 3 people from EWN. We got in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget Cidi the next day when I had an argument with her about it in the office, because there's always this thing, and I love to bring the listener in on what happens behind the scene. But there's always this thing about this battle between sport and politics and news. And I go, sport is important. And news is always like, no, news is the most important thing. And I'm like, sport is news. Anyway, in that moment, she put that all aside. And she said, I have to have a picture with Damian Willemse because he hasn't taken his kit off. Remember, we won. And he lived in his kit and he went on the tour bus in that kit. And she said, I have to meet him. And she did. She got a selfie. She tweeted it. And that was the thing with Cidi. If she had set her mind on doing something. When she started here, she had set her mind on being a top politics reporter, and there were many people who did not believe she could do it.
And she did it. She absolutely conquered it. Wow, what a story.
So,
sure, okay.
There was that one time. You see, everybody loves sport. It is important.
You know what, Amo? I used to work upstairs with these guys. There was the sports department and the politics department. They're like having 2 children. They were both most important. I'm more important. I'm more important.
Especially when sports has a breaking news. Then you would see the political desk. You'd see the desk people get all riled up for the story. Yeah, amazing.
Everybody knows traffic's the most important, Amo, don't they? Exactly.
But more importantly, if I can take any, because she always appreciated my insight on what I would have to say about something. I know everybody's hurting today. I know everybody's grieving and in massive shock. We arrived at work this morning. Her desk is untouched. Her shawl is there, like she used to keep herself warm in winter. Her plants are there. Her notebook with her notes and her pens are there because she was coming back, right? She was. I mean, everybody thinks they're coming back.
Yeah.
So I think when somebody young passes, it's a reminder for all of us to reflect and say, our time is not
granted, it's not guaranteed. It's very important in life to pick your battles, to pick what's important, and to then now use the coming weeks as you feel and you remember her life to just appreciate those around you and have gratitude for that you're here.
I won't lie, I've had a massive mortality check once again. Every time this happens to a friend, someone who's close, you think, oh, I'm going to die. It's going to be me soon. You have that.
You do, and then you go, what if it was me? And that's a natural feeling to have. So use these feelings that you are feeling about Cidi to speak your truth, because she did, to not falter on how you feel about something, to allow people to have their space to speak, which she did. And just remember that every day is not guaranteed.
Every day is the big day. Yeah. Is the big day.
Right, so to sport.
Right, tell us about Mamelodi Sundowns.
Very quickly now.
We need to know about them.
And now we're out of time. Well, Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso feeling the pressure from fans who are not used to the defending champion side's recent dip in form. Last night, Sundowns held goalless by Kaizer Chiefs, who remain unbeaten in 4 premiership games played. Sundowns were recently beaten in the MTN semi-final. In their 4 league games, they've won 2 and drawn 2. Coach Cardoso says you can't win them all.
When you play an away match in a team that is like Kaizer Chiefs, you should expect that the games are divided. You should expect that the games are tough, well played. And that's what we saw today, a beautiful game between 2 teams that fight it a lot. The teams that are in 2 different moments. One team comes from 3 victories. We come from 2 draws in matches that we were winning.
Sekhukhune topped the table ahead of Chiefs on goal difference after they finished 1-1 with AmaZulu last night. Man United are out of the English League Cup. They lost to 4th side Grimsby Town on penalties 12-11. Man United had to come from 2 down to draw and force the shootout. United boss Ruben Emery.
We need to be proud to go to the pitch. We play quite well both games in Premier League, and we come to the game with a 4th division team and we perform like that. Again, the players clearly show what they want. It's hard to speak. I'm 7 months here talking about what the environment or whatever. I think is more than that.
At the US Open, all your top 10 seeds are through, including the 4th seed Taylor Fritz, who beat South African Lloyd Harris in the 2nd round. Top seeds in action today include Sinner, Zverev and Goff. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and you always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Ready, jet, go! 2 fully paid trips to the Abu Dhabi Motor Racing Spectacular must be won in the thrilling new JetX competition exclusive to Hollywood Bets. An unforgettable experience awaits on one of the fastest circuits on the planet, with the world's top drivers battling for supremacy. To stand a chance to win, bet 10 Rand or more on JetX. 1 million Rand in cash is also up for grabs. Hollywood Bets. Fly higher with our multiplier.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
EWN Traffic.
It's 9 minutes to 9 o'clock. Coming up shortly, speaking to John Carney. He's coming into the studio to talk about, he's been elected to serve as a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts, known as the Oscars. So that's coming up shortly. Amal, the traffic, looking better now. Let's have a good news story.
Well, Ray, if you are traveling on the N1 south towards Midrand, some delays approaching Olifantsfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 north between Boysons Road and Carr Street, as well as on Smith Street. An accident reported there right there near the M1 turned off and it's causing delays. Please be on the lookout. More updates at 9 o'clock.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with SemAir, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. SemAir, more from your airline.
This September, Joburg Theatre brings you a powerful mix of drama, music, and dance. Dancing the Death Drill, adapted from Fred Khumalo's acclaimed novel, tells the tale of Pito Mutaung, a South African soldier forever changed by the tragic sinking of the SS Mendi. The cast features Kwenzo Ngobo, Tuli Tabete, and Clint Brink, with choreography by Luyanda Sidia and original music by Msaki. This is a story of love, loss, and remembrance. Catch it from 9 to 28 September 2025 on the Mandela stage at Joburg Theatre. Dancing the Death Drill, a moment in history brought to life. Book now at joburgtheatre.com.
Whenever you hear deep in the heart and art of jazz, think Sia Makuzeni with the big band, Jasmine Horn, Alun Wad, The Baylor Project, Jose James sings Badu, Umu Sangare, Esperanza Spalding, Michelle Dugiocello, Elaine, Tezo, Munei, Mondli Ngobo, and many other spectacular icons. Think Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, 4 stages at the Sandton Convention Center, 26th, 27th, and 28th September. And take me there. Book via Ticketmaster.
Coming up on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Gosh, we've been talking about talent this morning, and I'm driving in my car yesterday afternoon, and I hear Khomotso Modise reading the news. Now I look at you in front of me, and you're doing the Clement Manyatela Show. Is there anything you can't do?
Wow, Reza, there's a lot I can't do. If you ask my husband, I'm sure he'll tell you that I've got many things I struggle with. But I'm glad to be here this morning, Ray.
Oh, it's good to have you. Now, I know what you will be talking about this morning. It's a difficult day for all of us here at 702 Land. But I suppose, like I said this morning, it's remembering the sunshine.
Yeah.
And that was Cidi.
No, really. I mean, I've been sitting from yesterday. I can't believe it because I was just with her joking in the newsroom. She was teasing me and trolling me like she always did. And I mean, I tried to call her a few days ago, about a story to say, hey, Musadi, did you hear what was going on? And I just couldn't find her. It is heartbreaking. So we're going to be, we're going to continue with that theme in the show today. In the second hour of the show let's start with the first hour, which is the open line. But I'm sure, many more of our 702 listeners will want to weigh in and speak about Cidi and their memory of her, especially because she would be seated in that spot today if Clem couldn't make it. Ordinarily, she would stand in for Clem.
She would be there.
It is such a tough day for the Clement Manyatela show today. And so I'm expecting to hear from our listeners on that. The second hour, we're gonna it's what we would usually have as our hanging out feature. She had a hanging out stint with Clem, and we're going to go back to that interview from May. So we'll have that in the second hour, and then in the third hour we talk about crime. 2.6 million house breakings in the country over the last 5 years.
Wow, that's the Clement Manyatela Show, starring the talented Khomotso Modise.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction because with Sunny Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sunny Sixt.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Veteran actor John Carney has been elected to serve as a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, also known as the Oscars. You can hear him giggling in the background here. I'm so excited to have you in the studio today. John, how did you receive the news? And just tell us everything.
No, I when I was doing Black Panther, one of the ladies that worked for Marvel, Sue Ellen, said to me, "Would you like to serve on the Oscars? It's about time. We've been talking about it." I said, no. Because I had a conversation once with Munin Lee, who was always grossed in, I'm reading. I said, no. And this time I just got this email that says, "Welcome. We're proud to announce that you've joined the class of 2025 in the Oscars. Please, if you accept the offer, respond to this email."
Gosh.
I'm thinking, okay, respond.
Reply all.
Reply all. And immediately you get the whole information. Then you know that the Oscars are not just that night on the red carpet.
Yes.
They are a massive, over 5,000 people working throughout the year because they have a massive outreach program. Apart from just best actor, best director, best what, but they've got these incredible outreach programs all over the world where they have, like, now this morning I look at my email, the Nicole sort of student Oscars for screenplay writers. Would you please join as the judge? We'll be sending 3 scripts to read. I said, what? I'm still celebrating being on it. Let me land. Let me land. But it is an incredible honor indeed. And somebody asked me, like, okay, what's going to happen with Africa from Ghana, actually?
Sure.
I said,
Good
well,
question.
I'm a member of the Oscar Academy. I do not represent Africa, nor do I represent South Africa. I part of their mandate of the pursuit of excellence and celebrate history and culture. So if the issue of Africa comes, how better that I'm in the room.
Of course. Exactly.
But I'm in the room, and perhaps even by being in the room, the conversation will be, what do you think about, And those are the challenges of Africa, and so we'll be serving in the best way I can.
Yeah.
And already some people have said, oh, my Lord, where are you going to get the time? Because the scripts come pouring in. But look, you don't read 100 scripts. They send a little 3 or 4. You read and you make your comments and you send it back. But the most important ones are the substructures that you must take place in, which are the social responsibility of the Oscars.
So what's the timeline then? I mean, you've got a lot of work to do. In what time?
Well, in the time they're giving you, we have to finish when we are 3 months ahead of the Oscars. Then that would have been finished because then it's going to go through the mill. And by the time you get the scripts, they've been whittled down.
Right.
Yeah, you get those that are most probable, qualified for nomination. Then you go through those nominated. And then it gets into the big voting system, which is nobody knows. Guaranteed by an accounting firm that look through using computer and all that. And suddenly you will now know this is the last 5, last everything, and the evening.
And then there it is.
But I love them because just like when I got the OBE from King Charles, Buckingham Palace keeps inviting me for all their activities as if I live in King's Road.
Oh.
I keep saying, my email says .coza. I'm not hanging around next door. No. But they think really like now, I've already known, there's a meeting in New York on this date. On the 3rd of September, there's another meeting in LA. We'd appreciate if you would make it. How?
Oh, no, there's no. John, I'm way out of time. I need to get you in here and do a whole half an hour to an hour chat with you. We'll organize it. We definitely have to organize it. But congratulations. Absolute congratulations.
Thank you for South Africa making me feel proud by congratulating me for a hell of a work that's coming my way.
Oh, it's fantastic. And we all watching so
Thank
closely,
you.
and we're so proud. John Carney, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And that wraps up our time together. Keep listening to 702 today. I know it's a difficult day, but keep listening because remember, we're all in this together. It's just after 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Political parties have paid tribute to EWN's politics associate editor Cidi Madia, saying her passing leaves a void in South African journalism. Madia died in hospital yesterday at the age of 42 after a short illness. Deputy President Paul Mashatile described Madia as the darling of the media, a journalist who blended professional rigor with a profound human touch. And ANC Secretary General Mabula has remembered Cidi as someone who did not pull any punches.
He's not a kind of person you'll go to